Unicorn cycle.
Boop. Hello everyone. Welcome back. I bumped my microphone, so I hope I don't sound like a complete robot. We are Logomancy Media, and we are a fun content collective of nerds who make D&D content and other TTRPG content. I had a whole thing for this planned out, and it is gone out the window. My name is David. I'm going to be your dungeon master for the evening, but you don't care about me. You care about the 5 lovely people down below me. And I think we're going to put the new old person, returning person, on the spot first. Everyone is back.
Yeah.
Everyone welcome Pixie back. Rounds of applause.
Hi. Nice to see everybody. It's nice to be back.
You've been dearly missed. How have you been?
You know, I'm doing okay. Life is still a little crazy, but it's not as crazy as it was. So, I missed everybody too much, and here I am.
That's the way to do it, you know.
Well, we are a delight.
It's true.
Indeed.
We are a delight.
We are something.
We can actually swear this episode because we are not on charity.
That's right. We can drop all the fuck bombs we want.
Yes.
No biscuits here.
Oh, what if I like biscuits?
And eat them.
I will make you biscuits, my friend.
Please.
Really quickly jumping into it first. Pixie, you're joining us with a new character. Give us a really super quick. We'll get you a proper introduction here. Give us a real super quick intro to who and how you're playing this season.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I am bringing to the table this time around Lucy Livingston, who is a gnome archaeologist. Her big passion in life is restoring archaeological finds, be they items or locations, and a big part of that for her, which kind of puts her on the outside of things, is that she doesn't want to do it for the rich people who throw money at her. She wants to do it for the people who culturally that site or those items should belong to. So funding is tight, enthusiasm is high, and due to some twists and turns that I'm sure will come out at some point, sometime during her archaeological career so far, she has also become a knowledge cleric.
We need one of those.
Excuse you. I'm full of knowledge.
So, yeah, she's excited to explore some more of the world, meet some more people. You know, she's heard that this group, not just specifically this group, but the whole organization, has been instrumental in the location of some like really amazing lost artifacts.
Not us. Nope.
I'm sure at some point you guys have found lost artifacts. You just, then immediately lost them.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, I'm not going to talk about being a lost artifact. I feel like that's a little uncouth right now.
You are a relic, Neon.
Lost is a very funny word right now, considering all
Lost
that
is
has
a very funny word.
I don't know what you're talking about. Lost is an
Well, you see, at
amazing
first
word.
there's like one line, and then there's like 2 lines, and then there's 2 lines, and then there's another 2 lines. This is historically known as North America's first hieroglyph.
Leon, I hate that I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
I'm going to radiate outwards from Pixie joining us. Tegan, how has your? It's been a few weeks actually since you. How have you been?
Yes. I have been good. I got myself a new bed recently, and I'm loving it. Christmas season is upon us at work, so I get to listen to Christmas music all day. Woo.
Yep.
And yeah, I am just so excited to be back with you guys. I missed you so much.
I feel like the feeling's mutual because like I was like, oh man, like I'm running around getting everything ready and I'm like panicking a little bit, but I'm like, but I get to see my friends.
Right?
Yeah.
Neon, how have you been? How have things?
Good. Things are good. Things are flowing. I've been all over roll for wishes. So if folks are like, "Oh my God, hi, it's Neon again. Hi, it's me again." I'm here now, more than I was before, and I plan to continue to be annoying in here. Aside from that, we're good. We're doing some studying. For anyone who knows me and has been around me at all, I'm teaching myself computer science and software development. So that's fun. And aside from that, yeah, I'm good. We're ready for the holiday season, which is to say I'm ready to never leave my house again until after January 1st. Because Christmas music is horrible and I hate it. Bah humbug.
My personal favorite thing is my boss's speakers at work, and sometimes I can hear his music, and every once in a while I'll have my headphones in, I'll be working, and I'll just hear Mariah Carey like subtly out of the back, and it feels like one of those TikTok memes, because I'll be sitting there and all I hear is and I'm like,
You're just like, where the fuck?
no, not here.
Not yet.
Oh yeah.
Not yet.
Christmas music and I have the same relationship as like the like really hot girl in a horror film and the slasher that chases her across the lawn. And that I try to get away every year, but somehow I trip, stumble, fall, and shred all of my clothing until I am at the mercy of Michael Bublé and Mariah Carey again.
Yep.
I hate
It
it.
is always
I
so
hate it
stupid.
so much.
Can I recommend for you the Frank Sinatra Christmas album?
I only listen to one Christmas album now, and it is the Muppets. Now,
I was about to say, have you heard of Pentatonics?
Ooh, true.
They're
actually, no,
sick as-
I'll pass.
Oh.
There's only 2 valid Christmas albums in this household, and it's the Muppets. Actually, they have multiple Christmas albums, but we don't need to talk about that. I know all of that and most of the songs by heart. And also the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, because how can you look at me and tell me that the entire orchestra is trans? That's crazy.
Blackwell, how have you been, buddy?
That escalated.
I think our DM is dying now.
Yeah, slowly.
I've been all right. I will be on winter break because, working in a school, that's the thing that happens. And I'm like, oh, winter break? Nice. So I get like 3 weeks off, and then I'm back on January 2nd. And then 2 days later, I turn 30. So it's like, hey, I'm 30 years old. Where's the confetti and the balloons? But otherwise, I'm doing pretty good. I'm finally getting to spend Thanksgiving and Christmas with my family. We haven't been able to do that since we were in university and before the child was born. So getting to do that is honestly just really fulfilling. It feels like we can actually do things as a family versus, oh God, what is our schedule like?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm too tired to do anything. The kaiju's growing, he's moving, he's saying more words now, and my wife's got him into K-pop. He's into a tease and BTS, specifically a tease, and he does the dance moves in public. And I picked up on it yesterday as he's doing this weird crouching, and I'm like, you're not laying on the floor. What are you? And then he's sliding around, and I'm like, you're dancing.
Oh.
That's what's happening. So I look at my wife and I say, I blame you for this. She's like, what? He's doing the dance moves and the ice on my teeth video and the money video from a tease. She's like, oh. I'm like, yeah, you regulate that. I'm not regulating it.
Like, this is your
It's
problem
okay.
now.
It's okay if you don't know. It's K-pop. If you don't know, it's fine. Just know that now my child's dancing, and it's like, well, I was a dancer, so you followed that in one way or another.
I mean, for what it's worth, K-pop dances are like tight. They're fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some nice one.
I love watching it because I'm just like, yeah, they got some sauce on them. You can definitely tell those boys got some sauce on them. But otherwise, I'm good. I'm doing all
Some
right.
sauced up boys.
I'm ready for Christmas. I'm ready to continue going out with my family. We're going to the zoo to see the zoo lights possibly, and taking the kid to like an ice sculpture like playground museum thing. I'm just trying to have as much fun as possible until next year.
Mm-hmm.
As we all know, just next year. That's all I'm going to
Next
say on
year.
that.
Everything that happens in 2025.
It's like you see the storm. It's kind of like, when we're on that island, we see what's about to happen. We know what's about to happen. I'm gonna just ignore it right now.
That's a tomorrow problem. Allison, how have you been?
I was gonna say, David, I swear to God, you look like you're ready to move on. And I'm like,
It would
be
be so funny.
roll for wishes all over again. I swear to God. How I've been. Yeah. So let's just say it's been eventful. For anyone who knows, since last time we played on Wednesday nights, sadly I lost my cat, which was pretty hard on me, and so I took a break from social media, so I wasn't in a lot of the last roll for wishes, which sorry about that. Other than that, this is my busiest time of year for work. I do not have Christmas off. I am if anyone knows me, I am a pastry chef by trade, so it's yay, sweet.
Kinda in the name.
I know. Well, no, I'm just known as Allison now on Logomancy Media because I'm Allison. That's all. I don't know.
That's me.
That's me. Other than that, I've been playing Dragon Age religiously since it came out. There's no shame. I beat it twice. I'm on a third playthrough. I also, what else has been going on? It's been a while. I'm actually just really excited to be with my group of friends again. Like, I'm just like, every time at work, I'm like, it's Wednesday. Fuck yeah, it's Wednesday. I'm gonna go play D&D with my nerds. Bye. And I get to play my angsty boy, which I'm very excited for because he's the boy.
I normally skip myself, but I'm in like honestly having such a great month that yeah, I mean my December's been solid so far. We're building a studio.
Only been the 4th.
I know, right? Give it time. We're building a studio for work. So for those of you that don't know, I'm a huge like tech nerd. I'm sure you could have pieced that one together.
Really?
No clue.
So like, I've got stuff here at home right now because I'm doing a bunch of configuring and making sure everything's ready to go. And it's been really cool because like I've really wanted to get my hands on a Lumix S5 2X, and I have one. In fact, I've got 2 for work, and I'm so unbelievably excited. And my poor boss has to like sit there and listen to me like giggle to myself as I've been setting things up because I'm just so tickled pink. I guarantee you he's gonna like hide it all in a closet on me and like be like, no, until the studio's finished, you're not allowed to touch it anymore. So my Christmas,
it's like Christmas gift. It's like, no, you can wait until after Christmas. And they're like, no, but Mom.
It's 100 like even we had our big managers meeting and he's like, Christmas came early for David, and I was like, it did though.
Just frothing from the mouth in the corner. Look at me.
Yeah, and my little one is also saying words, but she's currently in the repeat everything phase.
Aha.
And my personal favorite thing about that is like when I'm driving, I like to let other drivers know without like honking or flashing or anything, but I'll be sitting there and I'll be like, man, and I've learned I have to curtail that because we were driving along and we had a guy cut us off. And like that's a big pet peeve of mine. No signal light, no nothing, cut us off in a dead traffic, had to stop. He was angled across me, and he turned to me and he went, and I went, no, you can kill yourself out loud. And all we hear from the back seat is kill yourself. And I was like, oh, okay.
That in the butt.
So I now understand Chili and Bandit really well from Bluey because I'm gonna start like integrating their level of cussing into everything I do.
You need to choose your words
Here's
wisely.
the thing, David, is all your kid needs now is like an Xbox 360 and a copy of Halo 2, and she's good to go.
I'm gonna set her loose on
I have both of those. Just
She's gonna show up on Xbox Live and just like ruin somebody's day.
Child
it's-
screaming at them, just killing herself. What?
David, it's okay. My child is saying shit now. He was just saying shit, and I'm like, he could say so much worse, especially coming from me. Mom doesn't say as bad as me. Like there are certain words that he can't say because of the way he looks, and I'm like, I really now need to be mindful. Like
Have a
because of your melanin, kid, there are certain words that can't come out of your mouth right
You're
now.
like,
The other one is she's learned that you can use the word fucking as a descriptor.
oh no!
Yes.
So we're driving home and she's like, Benny's crazy, Mommy's crazy, Daddy's crazy, Maisie's fucking crazy. And I'm like, you're not wrong.
Nothing, nothing will ever be as amusing as toddlers saying words that they shouldn't.
Yeah. And we don't want to teach her like it's a bad word, so we're like, that's a grown-up word. Only grown-ups say that word, and when you're older, you could say it too. Because like, we don't want to go down that road of like, no, only some words are good words. Later, we will learn nuance. Children don't understand that yet. But we're working on like, no, there's no such thing as bad words right now. We'll see how
All
much that
words
backfires on me going forward. I will keep you updated.
You know what? Don't take her to Ireland.
Yeah,
Ever.
she'll come back with some real special cuss words.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, it's not cuss words. It's just a friendly hello.
With that said, let's jump into some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, please.
When we saw you guys last, you were investigating a missing ship, some stolen goods, and we're
Missing
gonna
people?
undo that. But we'll
Oh.
get to how that
Ooh.
happens in a minute here. First things first, we have to introduce a new character, which means a fun dramatic cutscene. And this cutscene now has more weight considering how things went down with the.
Oh shit, it's in 1080p and the animation is really smooth.
Oh, we get some behind the scenes stuff for you, our lovely audience.
Pixie.
Yes.
Lucy. You find yourself standing in a room that feels both familiar and alien. There's a warm aroma of freshly brewed tea and incense that kind of fills the space. It makes you feel at ease and calm. As the room really starts to come in focus for you, warm light pours through windows as though there's sunlight coming from high up. You feel relaxed in the space, and the room slowly starts to come more and more into focus for you, and you begin to see the spines of thousands and thousands of books, an incredibly well-curated library. With curving shelves spread out as far as you can see. It seems like there are these piles and piles of books. In the middle of the space is a workshop where you find a human man tinkering with something. He's wearing a very nice linen shirt, and it's kind of smudged with grease. You can see he's like wiped his hands on it while he's working and stuff. And you even see him do it as he kind of he'll pull his hand free. He'll kind of like wipe it on his pants or shirt to like get excess grease off. His hair is a very vibrant gold, but it's streaked with gray that shows age. And as you're kind of like take a couple steps forward more into the room, he looks up at you with the most green eyes you've ever seen. In the background, you hear a beating, like a fist against wood, but it's distant and muted and in the back of your mind, something you're not really paying attention to. He smiles at you and he goes, "Oh, Lucy, how are you? Is there something I can do for you?"
Is this someone that I recognize or?
Yes,
Okay.
this is your god. You've
Okay.
been in this situation before.
Is this a situation where like times that that he has spoken to me, this is where it happens?
Yeah. So this is his workspace. This is probably one of the most familiar spaces you are with it, and he usually visits you in dreams when he's got something for you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get up and stretch and kind of walk towards him. Oh, hi. It's been a little while. But I'm assuming there's something going on if you were reaching out to me like this. Unless, you're just inviting me for a cup of tea, which is also okay.
You don't see it appear as he slides a cup of, like, it's not there and then it's there. Kind of he slides a cup of tea to you and he kind of gestures to the seat across from him. And the more as you kind of like walk towards him, the more his features don't quite seem right.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna pick up the mug, like in both hands. Is it like a gnome-sized mug, or is it like a larger person-sized mug?
It's like somehow both. Like it's feels physically larger than it should be, but it also fits in your hands nicely. Weirdly enough.
So yeah, kind of sit holding it in my hands and blow some of the steam off the top, even though, I mean, it was presented to me by my god. It's probably the perfect temperature already. But kind of settle in, like legs crossed underneath myself in the seat. All right, well, thanks for the tea. And what do you need?
And again, kind of that look of him as you look at him. It's the same kind of feeling when you're trying to remember what your grandparents looked like. Is what it almost feels like. You're looking at him physically, but it feels like you're looking at a memory of a person. The beating in the back of your mind, you can hear it a little bit louder as he's going, and he kind of looks annoyedly into a distance, and an armoire that you hadn't noticed before is there. And he sighs, and he goes, well, there's a lot to think about the world, and I'm starting to think it's time to start undoing what's been done.
Like, just start over again, or like
Oh,
roll
no.
back the clock a couple years, or like what are we talking?
I wouldn't say starting over again. I'm saying, maybe we... And he kind of like looks over towards the door, and you notice as he does, and he kind of like looks towards the armoire again, his hand seems to be almost like melting away in front of you. But it never really seems to like actually leave. And the beating gets more and more intense, and he seems more agitated the longer it goes on, and he's now forgotten you're there. As he stands up and he approaches the armoire, every step he takes, the form of him becomes less human. You watch as, again, the skin begins to almost like fall away. It's replaced by this like thick blood-like ichor that kind of starts to like spread out, and it looks like it should be dropping off of him with every step, but it never quite leaves his body. It somehow, it looks like it does, but it never really actually can see it. There's no trail as he goes. He throws open the doors to the space, and you see a Sarusha man, or maybe Sarusha, but something in your brain says that's not actually correct. Like, you see a Sarusha man, but he's not Sarusha. He's writhing inside the space, and you see that inside the case he's been nailed to the interior, and he's pulling against it, but he can't quite pull himself free. He screams, and it's this horrific, soul-wrenching sensation that seems to pull at the very essence of who you are. It tugs on, but not in the way of your soul. You can feel it in the way you feel magic, as it kind of pulls against you. You watch as your god picks up a hammer, grabs one of the nails and drives it deeper in. And as he turns to look at you, the clothes are gone, and what you're replaced with is effectively an eternally melting golem of essence. There's eyes that stare at you with this deep black emptiness, but that also you can feel as though the entire weight of the world is looking at you. And all he says is, "I'm tired. We're tired. It must end." And you wake up in your bed inside the Frontier Adventure Company.
David, what the? that went hard.
Solve a
think I
murder, kill God.
I wake up like sitting up with my hands still like as if they were still holding the mug of tea. And it's kind of like look like and I am going to get up, pull on like a shirt, kind of hastily button it up, and go in search. I'm gonna go make myself some actual real physical tea.
Okay.
Priorities.
Downstairs in the actual Frontier Adventure outpost, beautiful old brick building in West Haven. You find the outpost master, Valus Silentglade, standing kind of off in the corner, and he seems to be looking at like some papers that he's got spread out, and he turns to look at you as you come down. He goes, "Oh, I hope you slept well."
I mean, well enough, but it was a weird night, let's just say. Cleric stuff. Oh, actually, how long have I just arrived here, or
I'd say a
what's
few
the-
days. You'd have been here for a
Okay.
few days.
Okay, so like enough to have kind of made myself at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird night, cleric stuff. I'm gonna make myself some tea and try and get down as much as I remember of my dreams right now before it starts to fade. You know, they can be important.
It's always a good idea to keep an eye on your dreams. Sometimes they are gateways to what is beyond this world.
Yeah, that's what I'm a little worried about this time, but hey, we'll see what happens.
Do you need to talk about it?
Let me get my thoughts together first. And then probably, yeah.
Okay. And you see him kind of like let you walk about. As he does, he picks up a small stone that's engraved with the Frontier Adventure Company logo, and as he runs his hand across it, you watch it kind of like shimmer with light, and then just the gentlest sound of like a ringing bell in the distance, which takes us to our 4 other players. All of you, your badges jingle.
No. This is just like so tired. Just like, can we not for 5 minutes?
So is it like jingle as like a
I was
phone
unaware
jingle?
that they did that.
It's like a bell, like somebody's ringing a bell, basically. Think of like an old dinner bell kind of thing, but like a very like soft, gentle thing. It's a recall, basically. It's like hey, come back to the outpost.
I think Theo would be
Interesting.
so used to seeing like these, he'd be like, "Oh, they must have found something new for us."
Can we toss the badges? It's like,
Unfortunately, that would violate your contract.
I don't want to deal with him today, please. No.
Now, Nix, it's probably just a quick little update. We'll probably be in and out. It'll be good.
It's never a quick little update. It's never in and out. There's always like a list of chores.
I think Theo will pat Nix on the back like, "It's okay. We can walk and talk it out while we go back to base."
Don't touch me.
As he continues to pat his back.
Don't touch me. This is
Despite your scrunched face, I am registering a lower heart rate than normal.
silent, just like, I hate this.
I feel like Theo would just kind of like hear that and be like, "So you do like
I'm gonna get it in my
Totally
head. Nope,
stoner."
nope. He's just like, nope, not even doing this. Not even. You know what, Alice? How about you talk to them? I'm out. It's just like I'm walking faster ahead of everybody. Just like, nope, not doing this.
Don't run away
today.
from your feelings. It's
And you
okay.
know what? Let me be in my bubble.
I believe he is running towards our objective.
Do not all living beings have a heart?
I feel as though Nyx likes to think that their heart is somewhere else, like covered in a shroud and barriers, but it's right there on their sleeves. We just gotta tap it a few times.
She looks at her own arm. It's like, can you have?
It's a figure. It's a figure of speech. It's a figure of speech. It's a figure of speech.
Certain legends state that a pirate named David Jones kept his heart in a box.
I wonder if we could find him. But we could talk more about that. Our friend is getting away. We should probably go after them and just make sure they're okay. They seem to be having trouble coming to terms. And plus, we got to go see what HQ wants anyway. It's been years since they've done that little jingle. It's a nice little tune as Theo starts walking.
Arriving back at the frontier outpost, Valus greets you. You see he's like put on a pot for Lucy. He's pulled out like a whole nice little pot so she can make a better tea, and he's setting up and he goes, good. I need the 5 of you to go explore some ruins.
You know what like this is like what I just 5?
Yes.
5.
That's how many fingers most humanoids have.
Yeah, there's 4 of us.
Incorrect. Most humanoids have 4 fingers.
Thumb's
Now
not
my-
technically a finger.
Closer to a
now
toe.
I'm actually thinking of Dragonborns. They have 4 or 5 fingers.
I know, I'm like, Yanti, help me out here. How much
Like,
fingers do I got?
Lucy, and he gestures to the rest of you and goes, I would like you to travel with these 4 on a mission, if you wouldn't so mind.
Oh, hello. I'm Lucy. Yeah, I mean, ruins, that's kind of, it's kind of my area of expertise. So, sounds great to me.
Didn't we just have to look for... We were on a mission?
Yes, and this one, unfortunately, is far more delicate and can not be handled by the marshals so easily.
Probably for the best.
Understood.
We kept on telling people what the mission was. Gonna be honest with you, buddy. You're gonna need to do some damage to control. All right, ruins. Where are we going?
it is so nice to meet you, Lucy.
It's
We
very
should do
nice to
introductions
meet you.
first before we go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely introduce myself. That's probably pretty important. I am an archaeologist, actually. So ruins are definitely my thing. I like ruins and artifacts and ancient civilizations and basically anything that involves exploring in general, really. I've discovered some pretty cool things and places, and I mean, hopefully we can do that again here. I'm excited about a mission.
Exploration is always a good time.
Well,
And how about all of you? I mean, who are you?
my name is Theodore Blade, and he gestures to Nyx. This is Nyx. He then gestures to future me. This is future me. And then he gestures to Alice, and this is Alice. And we don't exactly have a team name yet.
We're apparently going by the Union.
Yeah, the Union.
I forgot.
That's Nix is just like, we're going by the Union.
And that is why you are our leader.
Yes, this is our leader and detective as he gestures to Nyx.
No, Nix is just like, please ignore them. I'm Nix. It's a pleasure to meet someone who won't drive me crazy, but it's yet to be seen.
Yeah, I can't make any promises. I'm pretty high energy, and sometimes people have a little bit of trouble handling me, but I'll do my best.
You'll fit right in with our group then. Don't mind them. They're just a little sourpuss at times. They'll warm up to you eventually.
I assure you, I'll be able to follow most levels of conversation.
It's just like another energy.
You were all on a mission already? What were you doing?
Nothing. It's just like, don't worry about it. We fucked up enough.
Well, once we're done with this, and if you are still hanging out with us, if you're part of the team, we'll get to tell you about all that as time goes by.
We were looking for missing peoples.
Yeah, damn it.
And treasure.
Well, I mean, now that we said that, we found out about this guy that was on this crew and on this job that got canceled, and then the guy went missing, and now it's like he was putting this team together to find this missing ship somewhere out in the open sea somewhere.
Anyone got any alcohol? Just looking at the guild
And
master,
there was a
just
magic
like,
mountain.
No alcohol, but we do have a lead. But that's not our concern anymore.
Yes, there's these ruins you were talking about. What's going on with them?
Oh, yes. Up in north of here, what we assumed was a collection of cliffs and hills, turns out to be an ancient city. The cliffs collapsed just late last night, revealing the remnants of an old elven city.
I'm sorry, did you say elven?
Yes, precursors to the Seru Shah.
Yes. Quick question. Why are we going?
Oh, quite simple. There's less likely people around there who'd want to kill you.
He's not wrong.
I like Nick is like, you're not wrong. But
A few.
there's no alcohol out there, I don't think.
I'll give you
You
some
can bring
time to
your
sober
own.
up.
So it's an entire ruined city? Like not just like a small archaeological site. Like we're talking about like
It appears to be an old elven floating city that's mostly intact.
Floating?
sounds incredible.
I'm guessing no longer floating.
Yeah, it's underground now.
Yeah.
It's doing
yeah,
the
I
opposite
figured.
of floating, in fact.
So wait, you
Ruins
said
often
that
suggest.
Mhm.
Oh. Ruins often suggest that a location has forgot its intended purpose.
So you said that the mountainside collapsed and this was then show. How did the mountains collapse? Like,
Excellent question. I'm assuming random geological event. There's been a lot of them recently.
was there an earthquake, a storm? Like,
Nope, hikers discovered that the cliffs had just kind of fallen away.
Perhaps erosion.
huh? Interesting. Oh well, I mean, I guess we'll figure out when we get there.
That would be one of the things we'd like to figure out is why this happened. And the second thing we would like to figure out is if there's any artifacts that are of particularly dangerous intent left lying around.
Is there any
Oh,
artifacts
understood.
in mind that you want us to look out for? Anything in particular?
The last time one of these cities were found, a magical sword was discovered in the space that killed 30 people before the wielder could drop it. So we would
Oh,
Oh wow.
rather that not happen, especially in the worst case scenario of it being found by another random hiker or worse.
so
Do
how
not
do we?
touch.
Yes, and how do we disable said item so that this face, this face can't be ruined any much more than it is. I mean, it's a good looking face.
I believe between myself and our new archaeologist, we'll be able to handle it.
I do have some experience with dangerous artifacts, so hopefully that'll come in handy.
Okay.
I can attempt to reason with it.
surprised how often that actually works with some artifacts.
You know, I'm willing to believe you. I'm willing to believe you too. I'm willing to give that a try.
I'm getting flashbacks. Oh no! Oh, the hammer.
Excellent. Well, I have, and he like rolls up and like it's like an old school scroll map that he rolls up, and he's like, this is what documentation we have about what the area looked like within the last 100 years. It's been updated to the best of our ability. West Haven attempts to keep up with these things. And he hands it over just kind of to Nyx and goes, they think you're in charge, so here you go.
It might be better to give that to future me. They're better
Like,
with
Nyx is all
geography.
it's like future
My
me.
topographical maps are beyond normal comprehension.
Exactly. Please do not call me the leader. Future me, can you take this? You're better at this.
Understood, Captain.
Oh, god damn it.
Ah, yes.
Like Nyx is like glaring daggers at Theo, just like, you did this.
It's just a proud look on his face.
Like a proud dad to a child. Yes.
I would recommend you pick up climbing gear before you go. From what I understand, there's not a nice, easy, cozy path down. It's a little bit of a careful stumble at best. And I do have one warning. These cities tend to be incredibly dangerous, not from anything that's living in them, especially one that's been buried for so long. I suspect you don't have to worry about anything. But they themselves are usually quite dangerous. So I would urge caution, and I would urge care. And I would ask you not to accidentally raise it, because that's also happened in the past.
Please clarify the spelling of raise.
R-A-I-S. No, I mean, if you want to burn it to the ground, personally, I would appreciate it. I don't want one of these on my doorstep, and I don't particularly want it nearby. The town that is within a few minute walk of it probably would prefer you not set the ground on fire. But
Understood.
if necessary.
Removing destruction from possible outcomes.
Like I said, look, do not touch.
I like Nyx gonna look straight at future me, just like future me's gonna touch some shit. Mm. Mm. Future me,
Yes, Nyx.
don't touch anything.
Unfortunately, I will have to touch things.
I know. I thought I'd just ask. Thought I'd just put it out there.
Your suggestion has been processed and, unfortunately, denied.
Fucking cinnamon rolls again. All right, let's. Do we have climbing gear here at the frontier, or do we actually have to go out and purchase it?
You'd have to go purchase it. They don't. That's one of those things they won't carry because normally there's not a lot to climb around here.
I think they'll look at Lucy and ask, by chance, do you know a store that sells climbing gear or any kind of exploration gear? We're kind of short on hand on that ourselves.
David, you good?
Sorry, I thought
No,
that
it
was
was
to
Pix.
Pixie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you hear us, Pix?
It was.
Was it?
Oh,
Sorry,
excuse
what
me.
was the?
Oh, I think they'll look at Lucy and say, by chance, do you know where we can find some climbing gear or exploration gear? We're all kind of short on hand for that, and some special gear for our unique points to Nyx for our more super time friend.
Snakes are like great for climbing. What are you talking about? Like, Nyx is just like, I don't think I'll be the issue.
I've spent in this area. Would I know somewhere to obtain supplies like this?
Probably know a couple of the more specialty stores, especially things that like for archaeological tools. Yeah. Probably there's a couple of general goods stores, and then there's the what a lot of people call the Prince's Adventure, which is just a large adventuring focused stuff. It used to be more popular with the mercenary groups, but now it's kind of almost a gimmick. They're all over the place.
You know, I think that I may have some ideas for, well, not a shopping spree exactly, but a few places that we can hit to make sure that we have what we need for climbing, digging, adventuring. Should be able to do that.
Wonderful. Please lead the way.
And as you guys leave, Valus is like, "Don't die. I don't want to do the paperwork."
That's a mood, though.
That is. That's his move.
This is
100%.
just like flipping him off, like, you know what?
Especially you, Nix. I've grown fond of you.
I would
That
like
is
one
concerning.
day. Yeah, I would like one day where we could actually, you know, sleep in a bed. You.
Bed rolls are comfortable.
Says the guy who sleeps and has alcohol to their disposal whenever they want. Nix goes behind her thing and like takes a bottle of their whiskey and was like, "I'm taking this with me."
You one of the things you're able to do is I'm assuming Princess Adventure. You can see where the joke name came from originally. I'm assuming that's where you guys are headed towards, the more adventuring gear inspired place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
think we
Probably,
start there.
yeah.
Yeah, walking in, the first thing you notice is that you can't find an employee to save your life. They have, like, scattered to the wind, and there's one standing at the till who's actively trying to pretend you're not there. But it's like a large warehouse space, and there's just rows of stuff that you might need.
I'm
Understood.
very tempted just next to be like, "Hey, future me,
Yes.
why don't you ask that gentleman right there what we're looking for specifically?"
Pardon. We will not need that gentleman to know where we are going. I would like to roll perception for the hanging signs that probably tell us where things are.
100%. Give me, you know what? Give me an investigation check, because it's technically
just-
investigation.
I just want to mess with this guy.
Could I argue that this is a liminal space and I can roll Arcana for it?
No.
I've been here before. Can I like point some things out to
Yeah,
give advantage?
100%. We're talking like the DC on this was like 5. So yeah.
17.
Yeah, you definitely see the signs that are like climbing gear. And it's somebody's like scribbled like a little mountain on it.
As we go in, I just kind of breeze by like the one employee that's trying not to look at us. Like, don't worry about it. We know where things are. We'll help ourselves.
I'm gonna make his day particularly difficult.
Nix, please be nice to service workers.
He's actively trying not to work.
Yes.
He's
And
scribbling
for the
on a
wage
piece
that
of
he is
paper.
earning,
He's probably had a hard day. Just leave him alone.
I feel it's a little racist. The climbing gear.
Yeah, so there's like everything you need. There's pinions, there's rope, there's picks to climb, whatever you're looking for, comfortable boots if you so need. All of them are weirdly cheap. Like you're like it feels good, but it's weirdly inexpensive.
I don't trust that.
Yeah, it's very sus.
Mm.
I'm continuing the Princess Auto joke through and
Yeah,
through.
Yeah.
So like
Lost on that joke, so
I've been here
it's
before, do I feel like this is a front for something?
No, like it's legit gear. It's just they buy so much of this crap at like one point in time. They get a really good deal on it. Oh, I guess Blackwell, you probably wouldn't know. Do you know what Harbor Freight is?
Yeah, we got a bunch of them here.
Princess Auto is Canada's Harbor Freight.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's the joke.
Okay.
Is there anything for Nyx? Because he got no shoes. He got no feetsies.
I have found a popcorn popper.
Nyx will be like, oh, what? Just in the
nothing.
corner making popcorn.
Nothing like specifically like Yuan-Ti wise. Yeah, doesn't necessarily look like they've got anything that's like geared specifically towards you.
I'll pick up some rope and a pickaxe, I guess, and climbing gear. Wait, don't we have climbing gear?
I don't know. Do you?
Oh,
We have climbing gear from the original hut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our original. I have climbing gear. I'm good. Never mind.
That's a good question. Wait a minute. Let me check.
I don't
gotta
think I ran
we grabbed-
down.
Yeah, I
grabbed
think I wrote it
climbing
down,
gear.
but we definitely took some.
How
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
explorers
A hut.
pack?
When we first were investigating,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like really like episode 2, I think.
Yeah.
There
From
was the adventurer's
Yeah,
hut,
when
and
we
we grabbed
climbed
gear to go chase him into the woods, and then you gave us a storm
Yeah.
so that Theo could catch up to us.
Yeah. So
Probably
we
grab some
have
extra
we have
rope.
climbing gear, but probably Lucy needs some.
Oh, Lucy is well equipped.
Oh,
Climbing gear.
Climbing
From
gear.
other situations, exploring ruins, etc. However, she will note to everybody, even if you have climbing gear, it never hurts to have some extra rope. Just in case the rope attached to any of your gear wears out, or it's having that backup is always nice. Rope will always fail before the metal it's attached to.
That's a good point. We should just gather, just extra equipment in general, especially if something happens, something goes on, just in case. I personally don't feel like falling off on the side of a mountain.
I am
I
rope.
do not need climbing gear.
I'm rope. It's fine.
So we can use Nyx to climb?
Wait. Wait. Like Nyx is like,
I believe Nyx will not fit through our regular-sized pittons and carabiners.
Theo's just going to start like putting things into like a basket or a cart.
Alex wanders off to find something like the
Yeah, Nyx is
carabiner
gonna
that
be
will
like-
fit Nyx.
oh dang it. I think Nyx is gonna go look for I can't remember. I think it's a carabiner, like the water jug, but big enough to hold a big bottle of whiskey that he stole from the thing. So he's just
Like a
"Oh, yeah,
Camelback?
yeah, a Camelback of whiskey. Gonna look for just looking at Camelbacks like, will you be big enough to deal with this?
There's no like Camelbacks, but there's definitely like leftover canteens that you could definitely fill like 2 or 3 of them with just like whiskey straight up.
Yeah, Nyx is just like, I'm picking this up. Put that in my cart.
Do we just have
Or
2
sh-
separate carts?
I 100% believe Nyx is like, no, I'm gonna get my own basket.
I'm a responsible adult. Oh, for my whiskey.
I have registered a new creature in my almanac. Shopping cart.
Alice is lost in the store.
Alice is just lost.
Alice is back in the corner with like the weird like accessories section where you're like,
Yeah.
what is that even for?
Yes.
Why does that glove look like that?
Stylistic choices.
It's
Specific things.
It's a full like horror film. It's back and forth between like shopping episode and Nyx in the back with like the scurrying employees. What was that?
Nyx is just like, I'm
You turn
looking
a
for
corner.
gloves.
One of them's like putting a sticker on something, goes, it just dives into a like.
It's just like,
Out of
no, this is
curiosity,
very racist.
out of curiosity, like when we see any of these employees, can we insight them to figure out like why they running from us?
They just don't want to
They're
talk
just
to
like
you.
this.
Yeah, they like act like the
This is-
people that
they're
usually
just
come
like
in
this.
here are the kinds of people that are like, I'm gonna ask you a million questions about being an adventurer, and then like anytime you're like, yes, you definitely need rope, they're like, no, I don't. They're like, they're gonna find your body on the side of a mountain, but okay.
I think Nyx is going to get climbing gloves because I have a lot of rope for some reason, but I need climbing gloves.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't know what comes in an explorer pack, so I'm just gonna get everything I believe we're gonna need to climb.
Okay.
I got climb gear, but I don't know if I'll have climb gloves in it. So
I think future me looks at the climbing gloves that everyone's grabbing, and then I look at my hands, and the metal like shifts a little bit, and I get like the fucking first live action Spider-Man movie, like shink,
yeah.
like the grippy.
Yes, where it all like pulls up like hairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ace is just gonna look right at you and be like, really jealous of that, actually. That
I don't think Theo
Awesome.
sees this at all. He's just like picking up gloves for everyone, like gloves, boots of various size, like rope and harnesses of various sizes.
Ooh,
Pretty
an
much
extra lantern might as well.
doing that dad thing of
Yeah.
like just being prepared.
You never.
Oh, is there a rain jacket for insulated heat? Because Nick's almost died of hypothermia.
He definitely picked that up. He definitely probably picked up a jacket.
They've got like ponchos. They're like weirdly reflective. You don't know why. Neither do the employees.
Nick's is picking up a reflective poncho. And I was like, oh.
In Theo's cart, there's like 5 of those already. He's just like, I know that they're machines, but they might.
Get cold.
Like, at a certain
You're not
point,
gonna get
like,
pulled.
Nick's is just walking by and just sees like this giant cart of stuff. Is just like, not going that way. I'm gonna go to check out.
Yeah, once you guys are all done.
Everybody, we have a Destiny Moon in chat who gave us a hydrate.
Oh, thank you,
Told you it happened.
Moon.
It's Moon.
Lots of love, Moon. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
I hope you're not at home.
Yeah, getting up to the counter, there's again Tabaxi guy who's like actively like trying to be like, please don't talk to me. Oh shit, you've got stuff. Hi,
You would
welcome
like,
to
I can
Prince's
ring the order
Adventure.
through.
No, I have to, or else.
I understand.
And he starts.
Nick just puts it on the counter, understanding completely because they don't like that either. Puts it on the counter and just total.
6 silver.
Puts 6 silver on the server. Not even says good day, just nods and just puts it in their bag.
I think Theo finally comes out with his cart full of stuff, and it's just like, "Hello, how are you doing today?
And Nick's just
I'm ready to
right
check
behind
out."
you, just behind him, just going like, "I'm sorry."
Alice is like almost like in that like bin of like weird stuff.
Just floating it. I think Nick's is gonna go try to find Alice. Like sees everybody else is like, I gotta go find Alice.
You found a high lift jack, and you're like, I don't know what this is.
Future me has walked past the register and is at that like donation coin thing where you put the coin in, you watch it spin.
Having most of what she needs. Honestly, Lucy just like on the way back out the door picks up like from like right at the checkout, like a little container of hand cream, a little lip balm, and a package of chewing gum.
Yes, perfect. 1 silver for you, and then for everything you've got, Theodore will call it 15 silver.
I got only gold, so I'm just going to give him 1 gold and just like tell him like, keep the change. It's okay. Thank you for your service.
Okay. Yeah, and
I
that's.
have 3 canteens of whiskey.
Woo!
Hey, remember Skiletta and the Molotovs? Might be making a reappearance.
Listen, it's a formidable weapon.
I'm gonna go look for Alice.
Can go find her hiding somewhere.
Alice.
I feel like-
Calling her.
She's like strapped to a like one of the shelves weirdly, just like help.
I don't even know how. And like it comes over and starts like helping you out. Like how? Bungees? Like what were you doing?
I was just looking in the bin.
Oh,
Just like gets her up, like picks her up and puts her down. Like you good? You okay?
Yes. Thank you, Nick.
There's like an employee running away, like suspiciously holding a net thrower.
Next is just like, feel like we should go. I'm starting to feel uncomfortable. It's time to go.
I think as DL's leaving out, he sees Future Me. He's like, ah, yes, Future Me, if you could point us into the
Yes.
directions that we need to be going.
Understood. And I'll open up the map
Ma'am.
and point out the way.
Sorry, I was just answering Pixie's question on Discord real quick. I've got more details for you, but I'll fill this in a second here. Yeah, it's not that far. It's maybe a 2-hour walk. There's like a small little farming town just outside of the main city where, you know, everything kind of gathered. And then it's a little, you just kind of like skirt around the edges of that. And then there used to be kind of like some rolling hills and some like very light cliffs that were there. And it's pretty straight up obvious that it's just now a hole in the ground. There's still like you can see the city as you get close, large spires and towers and stuff like that, as well as just like regular buildings. But like part of it is still underground. Like it looks almost like a landslide had like kind of like swept into the city, and it's sitting at like a slight angle.
Mm-hmm. Updating topographical data.
Erase all the lines and just like redraw them going downwards.
Recalculating tectonic movement.
Yeah, it like from your perspective, it looks like a almost like a modern city. But other than that, other than the fact that one, it's buried in a hole in the ground, and two, it looks fairly old.
I guess next we'll look at our new companion. Lucy goes like, so how'd you get wrangled up in all of this?
Well, that's an excellent question. That has a really, really long story, but the shortest version of it is that I was an archaeologist, and then I became a cleric, still an archaeologist though. And then I realized that there were people out there that were finding like really cool artifacts and working together and not having to like work for rich people who just want you to like find historical sites so they can steal all the valuable stuff from them. So the more I heard about the company, I was just like, I don't know, these sound like the kind of people that I could see myself getting involved with. You know, maybe do something good. I hate taking money from those awful people, but it's kind of hard to fund a dig on your own too. That's basically it.
You know what? I respect that. I respect that a lot. All right. Cool.
I can get into more of all of the things later, like, you know, when we need to pass the time, but right now I'm just so excited about exploring a new city. A new old city, a new to me old city.
Does that just make it a city?
Yeah, it sounds just like
That's a good question. I haven't really thought about it linguistically, but maybe. I guess it'd be different to everybody based on their own perceptions and experiences.
What I see is a city ripe for adventure. And things to be uncovered, things to refine. How do we get down there? Exactly.
we've got time.
Climbing gear comes in handy.
I was gonna say what we just bought.
Yeah, effectively, like it's like probably a solid like 75-degree slope, like straight down into the parts of the city that are exposed.
All right. I guess we're carefully climbing down.
And what's the distance downward like?
It's probably about 30-40 feet down.
Okay, so not terrible. We can reach it.
Whoa.
Yeah. If it
Is
would
it like-
hurt. It's a pretty steep like kind of thing. It literally just looks like the earth kind of went. Roop.
Yeah, but we don't have to chain like a
Understood.
million ropes together or anything like that.
No.
Is kind of what
No.
she's thinking.
One rope would definitely be enough for each of you to get down.
All right.
I will
Okay.
stay
And
up
how-
the rope.
How long does it take to cast something via ritual again?
10 minutes.
Okay.
Or nearly instantaneous in roleplay. If you were trying to do it in combat, it takes a long time.
Yeah. Because Alice has comprehend languages that might come in handy.
As we're kind of getting near the
Has
city
the
too.
rest of us. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, as we get closer to the city too, can I roll like a history or a nature to see if I remember anything about this place?
Give me a history check.
Oh, Alice will.
19.
Nice.
Nice. You have distant memories of, like, not this city. You don't
Yeah.
recognize this specific one, but you do vaguely remember at one point the people who became the Serusha lived like their massive, important cities. They effectively lifted up out of the ground. They would just kind of hover over where they used to be. So this looks, and you know at one point during the Night of the Thousand Tears, they all just stopped doing that with all of the consequences that came with that.
Understood. That explains why the topographical map wouldn't have been affected that much. The city was raised from the same spot that it fell into.
I guess like, but this is happening. I guess oh my god, my mind's just mush. Nyx would probably refer to Lucy because she, like, as an archaeologist, knows probably how to tie ropes proper to get down. So it probably refers to them to like okay, like they're like he's like looking down, be like, so what do you recommend here? Like he's just looking down, like.
Well, first of all, I recommend multiple ropes because that way, if we go to come up and like one of them comes loose when somebody pulls on it, we're not like in trouble. I don't know if we necessarily need one for everybody, but we should at least set up, I don't know, 2 or 3. I can show you how to kind of properly attach them so that we can head down from here.
Yeah, I only know like tight rope knots.
So I would like to essentially help put in the required, like, hammer in the required pins, etc., to attach ropes to, just kind of toss the ends down so that we've got, I think, 3 maybe, if that sounds good with everybody.
3
Yeah.
is probably for the best. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna get each of you to just roll me a straight d20, kind of a luck roll, more or less than anything else.
Oh, great! I was like,
Just the two of you that are tying
athletics?
ropes.
Oh god,
Oh, there's the ones that are tying ropes. Gotcha.
that's so me and
Yeah.
13?
Okay, yeah.
11.
Yeah. So that's it. More of a it was a other side of 10.
Okay.
Don't worry. Yeah, it's just basically a like making sure your rope isn't bad kind of thing. Yeah, it looks like you guys are in a pretty good spot. You're able to tie up your ropes pretty well. Lucy's done this so much that it's second nature. And so she's able to relatively quickly attach them all and get it ready to go.
Follow-up question.
Hmm.
How many spells can you ritual cast at one time?
Just
one.
one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Why?
Yeah.
Well,
What
I
are
also,
you planning?
I also have detect magic, which can be ritual.
Huh.
So
Yeah, you could cast one, or like if you went to cast the other one, I would say detect magic would probably dispel on you.
okay, so I have to pick one or the other.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll wait till we're down there to decide then.
Looking at it, does it look like this city was kind of totally like, how recent do signs of like earth shifting and stuff like that look like?
It like this is a super recent event. Like the earth is still pretty soft. So like trying to like scramble up it, like this incline's not so steep that if it had been settled, you could probably handhold your way up, but it's still relatively soft, so trying to do it now would probably result in you just sliding down.
Gotcha. And when, because like elves themselves, as opposed to Sarasha,
Yeah.
are not really around anymore. Is that correct?
Yes. So, who were the elves gave way to the Sarusha. They are
So this is old.
old. Like this city. It would be older than 5,000 years old.
Okay. That's extra exciting.
Yeah, Nick just gets to the bottom and just is like, it's old. It's a city.
Yeah. For those going down the rope, though, I will need acrobatics checks.
Yay! Finally,
I will
something I'm
not be
good
going
at.
down the rope.
Fair.
So all of us make an acrobatics check, basically.
19.
Or athletics. Give me either one.
I'll do athletics.
Oh.
19.
like
Ignore
this.
the +5. That's for something else. We learned that before.
Which one do I choose? Like, is it the left or right?
The one on your left.
Ah, it's a 21.
Lucy, give me a dexterity check as well.
Oh my
Honestly,
god.
put down.
They don't like me.
Out of curiosity, are we near them just in case? So it's like we see them struggling. It's like, oh, no, you good? You okay?
Yeah, can can Nyx use their tail? Like to catch if they fall?
Give me a dexterity check.
Okay.
Like both of us,
Dexterity?
or
Yeah, if you're trying to catch somebody, give me dexterity.
yeah.
25.
Okay.
Did you see dexterity? You said a dexterity check?
Yeah.
Nah, Nick's got it.
Yeah, Nix, you're able to like grab like Lucy, like you watch as like the ground kind of like slips out from underneath her. She begins to slide, and like you're just like, whoop, nope, absolutely not with your tail
Just
there,
like,
quick.
just like wraps around and be like, I'll just carry you down the rest of the way. You're pretty light.
Whoops. I'd love to say that's never happened before, but thanks for catching me.
Nyx is just like, oh no, is she accident prone too? Another one. Just really know. And like puts you gently on the ground and like uncoils the tail. Be like, apologies. Sometimes my tail freaks people out.
Yeah, that's not freaky at all. I've seen some really weird stuff. Ancient civilizations, they were strange.
You know what? I need to get you some alcohol. We need to have a chat.
Yeah, I'm in.
Oh, Nyx is like drinking. Buddy.
I would
Let's
also like to
go.
have this chat.
We
would
tried
love-
alcohol with you before, future me. It did not turn out well.
I am unaffected by alcohol.
Exactly. You wasted perfectly good booze.
It would be
Incorrect.
nice to
I
sit
did
down.
enjoy it quite thoroughly.
It would be nice to sit down and get to know each other, get to know you, your digs, and the things you've done. You know, bond as a team.
I think that sounds fun, but I really want to investigate right now.
Oh yeah, let's figure out. So, well, we're also gonna need to find, since we're staying here until we find something. So we're probably good to find a camp, a good place to make camp for the night, as well as look at
Yeah, go for it.
some main. Since you know archaeology and everything, and future me is very good at geographical logic, and I'm just here. It might be a good idea to find like a very important building. Might be able to use both of your talents to see which would be a very.
I believe I
Influence
can
of
assist
Lilith.
with this.
Sounds good to me. But if you want to set up camp first, we definitely can.
It's probably safer just to set up camp. Well, people are not trying to kill us here, so I have a feeling the guild is probably going to make us stay here for a while until we get called back. Might as well make ourselves comfortable.
A base of operations would be helpful.
I know,
Well, let's do it.
Alice,
Yes.
you're very good at structurally integrity. from your background, like trains and everything. Like, like this is structure, this is going to work, engineering. You might be the best person to find a camp for us.
Oh, like a good spot to camp.
Yes.
Yes. I also have a board. I have Layman's tiny hut, so as well.
Wait, do you mean you have tent?
Yes.
You have tent?
I have tent 2.0.
Tent is an eldritch god.
Tent 2, electric boogaloo.
Yeah. The only thing though is like I have to be within a 10-foot radius of the hut. But Alice could definitely find like a good spot to put it if you don't want her going down.
Well, we can like settle some stuff in there and whichever
I
as well.
was
without
thinking we were,
actually
like,
casting a
making-
hut around it yet.
Making like a camp inside the city.
I believe this could be useful.
Just keep away from prying eyes.
Okay. I need to make a roll then.
Yeah,
I have
also,
not yet. Oh, I think
would
I'm
like
good.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I would like to help, given that I might have some knowledge about the layout of these cities in any given respect. But it looks like you don't need it.
Oh no, that was just to get down because I hadn't made my acrobatics yet.
Oh.
Yeah, so you're able to get down, no problem. At the base of where you guys kind of end up, effectively what you're looking at is the base of the city, as the dirt's kind of like rolled under a little bit. There's a tunnel access of some kind. Looks like it was probably used back in the day. That you're easily able to walk into. But yeah, the actual like city's raised up a little bit where the top layer of it. Yeah, the into the secret tunnels as they were.
Ooh, fun.
Through the mountain.
What would you compare elven architecture to in your setting?
In the case of elven architecture, it's very minimalist. A lot of the buildings that you're looking at are, they're constructed very simplistically. The actual buildings themselves are magically created in a way. So something that Lucy would know is that one of the things that elves were known for doing is shaping the material itself into whatever they were trying to do. So a lot of these buildings are stone, like a very specific slate, and it looks like one piece the whole way up, where they kind of just like, oh, this tower is going to be a tower. Let's, there we go. So there was a lot of that took place. They were supposed to be colorful, but they're mostly drab. A lot of the paints and stuff that were used on them back in the day are gone. For us, I would say they're surprisingly close to being analogous to what we would consider, like we as the players would consider a modern city. They're the only thing being is they're very heavily structured. So you get this kind of like almost pyramiding effect out from the top, where the tallest buildings are the center. They're built outwards from there, and they kind of are built down. So the most important buildings are at the center. Everything else is kind of built out from it.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. Is there anything in particular that immediately catches Lucy's eye?
You would know you're about to enter a sewer. These used to be sewers. They've been long unused, so there's nothing really that's in there. Every once in a while you'll find standing water, but it's more like water that's slowly leaked into the space.
Right.
They do run, the ones that are large enough to walk through basically will run you through the entire city. They span out in an 8 kind of like leg pattern out to the edges of the city, and then kind of move inwards with smaller units connecting on that are not as easy to walk through.
Okay. So kind of looking like towards that. Well, I mean, it looks like we've got an excellent avenue of transportation right here that avoids anything that might be in the city above until we decide to pop our heads up.
That seems
Is
like
it
a safe
safe?
option. It should be.
I think Nyx is just hands in the pocket, just following, just like, all right, I don't know where the hell we are.
I think
I don't know
Theo's
anything
just
about
kind
Here.
of look.
this.
Even
We
things
are
that look
here.
totally boring, Lucy's just like peering at everything so closely. Like,
Are
maybe there's a
these
detail.
tunnels? Yeah, are these tunnels giving like undercity, like sewer tunnel type vibes, or?
Very much so. They're dark, and it's a round structure.
Yeah.
There's kind of two.
Are there 4 turtles walking around?
No, no turtles.
Rats.
Disappointed.
There's rats and vermin that kind of meander about, but no, unfortunately, no teenage turtles willing to be fighting.
We also have another hydrate from Moon.
Yeah, we do have another hydrate from Moon.
Oh, thank you, Moons.
Also, I definitely
I'm out of
my
hydrate.
or
I am
light
too.
my lantern before we go in there. Just
Out of
walking
curiosity,
in the dark.
is there like any writing that's around us, like as we're looking at this tunnel, or around us? Because I speak primordial.
Hmm.
Like I read and understand primordial. Would ancient elven like writing?
I speak Elvish.
Same.
I am fluent in not sure Serusha, in Elven.
But I think
Um,
knowing this, Alice would have cast comprehend languages.
Okay, yeah. So nothing in primordial. Like ancient elven is elven. So it's a very flowy, scriptic font. It's actually, and believe it or not, incredibly different from modern Serusha, which is a lot more angular. And a lot like it's you could tell like this is anything that's written was written with care and intent, and it's kind of all flows together, versus the old style, like the stuff that you'd be more familiar with Serusha is probably the most comparable language I could think of off the top of my head would be something like Japanese, where it's very harsh, quick lines that are done. The language is like it looks similar, but even the way it's structured and used is different. There are to future me's point, there are actually like effectively like sections where it's like this is section B of tunnel 1, and they have like some indication of where they're going, but it's not really like it was more meant for like people who already knew the area, so they were used to working in these conditions.
But potentially, like if future me is really good with maps, etc., maybe could like remember those locations so that
I think
this
it's
is-
definitely.
where we were, or this is like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
when you're remembering your parking space at the mall, you're like 2C, have to remember 2C.
Yes. And no, but yes.
And invariably, you always end up at 1F being like, this isn't where I'm supposed to be.
And why does it go from F to Q? I don't get it.
That's my car. No, wait, that's another car that looks like mine. Shit. Where?
Did I leave it unlocked? Oh, there's somebody in this car.
Oh, whoops.
So sorry.
Oh, wait, I didn't drive here.
As we're walking through these tunnels and such, is there? I know you talked about like the city is structured very much in that like center, like spire is the biggest, and it like goes out from that.
Yeah.
Is there any like commonalities between city designs that would be like, oh yeah, like that's that district. Every city has that district in that spot. Like that sort of like commonality.
Sort of. So, one of the things about elven cities and even modern Serusha cities, which would be very comparable, is effectively they build them in districts ringing outwards. Serushas are a little bit more organic in nature, but like it effectively is like it's like this is the important central district. This is where all of the commerce happens. This is high-end living. This is general marketplace. This is low living. This is the slums.
Yeah. I believe the safest places to be would be within the inner rings of the city.
So we keep walking up.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Wandering through the tunnels again. It's eerily quiet. Like some of you've been in abandoned places. You've been in sewers before. You've been in places that are, they always still kind of feel alive. This place has like the odd mouse, but like it feels very out of place. The entire structure feels dead. Is the best way I can put it. Like even an abandoned city normally has some semblance of life and nature to it, but this feels like it was completely abandoned by any of that as you go through. As you get towards the central district, basically the space drops down. This is where there was kind of a water reservoir at one point that is long since run out. And this is where they would have stored water for use in the city, kind of, and it would flow outwards from there. And you can't really get too much farther into the interior districts for this. There's just not really a way through. You can kind of gotta walk around. You could walk to the other side if you wanted to, but not as easily.
So at this point, do we want to look at going like up, like
To the surface.
yeah, seeing what's going on above the sewers? Or does like somebody, like one person, want to just kind of like pop their head up a little and see how things look?
There are access staircases. Like you could easily like walk up, no problem.
Okay.
I think
If
Theo
we would
do
like to
that.
scout, I can.
I mean, I'm up for checking anything out, but I don't have to charge ahead. I'm not. I don't want to like try and take over or anything. I'm happy to go wherever we go and just see whatever I see.
Nonsense! You are the expert in this field right now. Like, how would you approach this? You're in a unknown city, an ancient city. What would you usually do?
Well, if I was on my own, I would probably just walk in and see what happens. But that's not as good an idea when other people's like lives are in the balance. So my suggestion in this situation would be that we see which of these staircases down here seems to have been used the most. That should lead us to a pretty high traffic area, or what was a high traffic area of the city. Good place to kind of, take a quick peek. And if there's nothing there, then a relatively safe bet that the rest of the city is also pretty abandoned.
Future me and Theo both wanted to go up, so do you guys want to go together?
Sure.
We can go.
Lucy's gonna be standing at the bottom of the stairs, like just watching.
I am going to take a small moment to prepare something, though. And I'll sit down cross-legged, and I'm going to ritual cast Find Familiar. And what's like the ground look like in the sewer here? Is it plants? Is it dirt? Is it tile?
It's like a smooth stone, and mostly like there's little bits of like funguses and stuff that are around, but not a lot of even dirt realistically in here.
Then as I sit down and cast Find Familiar, Future Me's hands sink into the tile and the stone almost as if it was water, like she was reaching into a pool. And she kind of swirls around in the earth for a second and pulls up out of the ground like an egg of stone that like cracks a little bit and then splits, and inside there's a kind of smooth gray stone owl that has like some fungus sticking out of its head, like a great horn owl, but the horns are fungus. and it kind of has that same kind of silvery with blue coloration that future me has. I believe that this specimen will assist us in searching. Nothing better than an aerial view.
Yeah, heading up, there's a spiral staircase that kind of leads you up. You arrive into a small, like hut almost like structure. As you walk out, you're now standing on one of the main streets of the town. It's empty and barren, other than the dirt that's now scattered across the surface. The space itself is, again, it's that same haunting lifelessness that kind of like fills the area. The only difference is you can hear the sounds of like the earth settling around you still. You can hear is kind of like everything's moving and stuff. Where you've come up, basically the other half of the city is still almost buried in dirt. So there's like parts of it that poke up out of it, but it's still like slid in and covering it.
The fact that it's half buried is going to impede our search.
Could I? It's half buried. But you know how snakes burrow.
Do you have
And-
burrowing speed?
I don't know if I do for.
You
your
do not
bloody
have a
nudging,
burrowing
no.
speed.
I was just
I
gonna
will
say,
tell
could
you
I
right now, you do not have a burrowing
No,
speed.
I don't. I was just like, could I like sneak through the cracks like snakes do? You know how like snakes just show up? You're like, how the hell did you get there? It's like there was a crack in the wall.
Yeah, you could like take the underground tunnels, but trying to come up, like there's gonna be dirt and stuff blocking your ability to move through easily.
I thought I would just ask. I was like, oh, I'm a snake. Can I do that?
Good idea though.
Yeah. It's
And
like-
as we step outside into the sun, there's like a little whistle noise that comes from future me somewhere, and the owl takes off, and it's gonna fly kind of in a circle, staying within 100 feet of me, and just start doing just circles.
Yeah. Kind of like watching as it's flying. I'm assuming you're looking through its eyes, doing the.
I'll look through it first. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you're kind of, the space you've come up in is kind of a, in modern Sarashaw would be a higher like a higher class area. So there's like a couple, like there's a school nearby that you can see, like it's a very clearly denoted with like the remnants of what used to be some kind of schoolyard around it. There's a few buildings that look relatively important. You're close to what you can clearly tell was some kind of administrative building. And you're not too far. Like you could kind of climb up the rubble and you could find yourself at the central tower.
I'll relay all that to Theo.
I think Theo will hear that and say, should we go to the central tower? Should we explore more on the ground?
I believe at this moment we should check the immediate area to see that it's safe, and then inform our friends that it is okay to come up. I'm not seeing any movement from our aerial view.
Sounds good to me. Let's see what we can find. Is there like any places, like, best way I could say it is like, is there any places that have like doors or shops, things like that, places that we can kind of like easily get into, or is it just like desolation?
Yeah, like there's like the buildings are still remarkably standing throughout all of this.
What's the first building that Theo would see?
It looks to be, from what you can tell, some kind of library.
I think he'll point that out into future me and say, there's a library that's here. Something maybe that we might find some things that you like, that our new archaeology friend might like. So that libraries usually have a wealth of information.
I also believe it would be a safe place to set up camp.
Yes, that too. Should we go? Let's go check that out real quick.
Let's check that out.
Yeah, walking through the front door, it's regular. You push open the doors, they slide open fairly easily for you, which probably catches you a little off guard. You would think the doors that are this old should be rusty, or you have to put a little effort into them, but they still move remarkably well. And yeah, you find yourself in a library. Basically, there's a reception area in the front. You can see where there used to be like kind of librarians and stuff. And then there's stuff scattered around the space. You can see there are lines of books, or what used to be books anyways. Most of it appears to be completely disintegrated and falling apart. There must have been some kind of moisture in the space at one point that caused it to kind of fill in and swell a little bit, and that would have been the end of a lot of these as time and mold took them. But it is a fairly large open space. The building itself is almost perfectly round, and there's kind of like a few spots that deviate off from that, but the central structure of it is a circular building that kind of goes up about 3 stories, and you can see there's more books and like study spaces and stuff. In the space, like there's stuff scattered about, like besides the books, there's like carts that are tipped over. There's sections of like what looks like lamps that were knocked over. There's even like what appears to be like almost like a small, like smaller chairs and reading area and stuff that it looks like it was relatively quickly abandoned. But the space has been otherwise undisturbed for who knows how long.
Is there a way for us to figure out like the way that people left? Was this like in a hurry, in a panic, or was it just like, can we, in a weird way, can we vibe check how the room was left?
Yeah, give me an investigation check. We'll see kind of what kind of vibe you get.
I will give you guidance for investigation specifically. Because I have to now specify which skill guidance is. I can't just be like, guidance, you use it on whatever. I have to specify.
What does that give me?
It adds an extra D4 to the ability check.
We're gonna roll my investigation, see what we get. We're gonna use that D4. Yeah.
Hey, there you go. 11. You can tell it was hurriedly. You can tell that the people that were leaving the space were very much not doing it in a calm and orderly manner. It was very quickly abandoned when it was. But it is like, it doesn't look like there's looting that happened. It looks like literally everyone just kind of like picked up and left.
And you said there was like a bunch of like mold and stuff growing on the books and mushrooms and things like that. Then, you know what? I'm gonna wait until our friends are here to do that.
I think Theo would kind of like start scouting out the area a little bit, but also like if he found like anything that was like a drawer or anything of the sort, because you know, if something's inside of something, even with moisture, it's relatively in a box's sort, like a protective box. So he's gonna see like what's inside of like whatever drawer he finds, like if there's any books or anything of sorts that says time, date, whatever.
Yeah, there's a couple of punch cards that are in there that are somewhat intact. Like they're in comparison to everything else, like they're still there, but they're like dried out and like very delicate. And yeah, they have a date on them. Hold on, I have this information. I just have to pull it really quickly. It is Era 6, 4th Moon, 09.
So how old would that be?
You might not have any idea.
Would I have an idea?
I'd want a history check.
Absolutely, we can.
Or you're also welcome to give me a history check if you want to see.
That's a 7.
Yeah, I could try. Like, you know, I ain't got nothing in my intelligence, but you know, we could try.
That's
Yeah. the 2 brain cells do not want to cooperate right now. They're like, vacation mode.
No, you can't quite tell how long ago this is. You know that the
That
system
date
hasn't
does-
been used in a long time, but you don't know.
That date does not mesh with my internal timekeeping systems.
Eternal time. I must miss a daylight savings time or something.
You know, I'm
It's
well,
flashing progressively and angrily at me.
you know, I'm well seasoned, but I'm not that well seasoned. Maybe our archaeological friend can help us out with this, as he kind of, you know, pushes it closed and continues like kind of like searching the perimeter, like if there's anything that makes him say, that's suspicious.
I just think Nyx is just like sitting on the ground, like with the other two, just be like, just like having like some whiskey, just like passing it to Lucy, like, so tell me your story. Just like having this moment with Lucy.
Lucy's
Alice is-
definitely having trouble focusing on that though, because like her eyes are on the door that they went up through.
Oh, yeah. Nyx is just like, and then looks at Alice and just be like, you can't drink, kid. You are.
It is a
I
good
will-
thing I'm not claustrophobic.
Nyx just freezes as he says that and goes, shit, why'd you have to say that? Oh no.
I will, as Theo's kind of doing a perimeter sweep, Future Me will like kind of turn back to where the party is, like direct line type turn back. Just point her finger. And just a little piece of like copper kind of springs out of her like braided cables on top for a second. And she goes, "It's safe. We found a library. You can come up now. You can respond to this message."
Who are you sending this to?
I'll just probably aiming for Lucy.
Lucy's immediately like on her feet, like they found a library. Oh my, they found a library, and like zoom like up.
And the
And
moment it's done, the piece of copper like back into the braid.
Nyx is just like, oh, library, great. Just like it's like following, just sauntering by, like, all right.
No, it's like yeah, Lucy's up the stairs and there as fast as possible.
And I'll get my owl to fly back and forth between like the entry to the library and the like exit point for the sewers to like
Yeah.
highlight a path.
Your friends arrive somewhat easily, and same thing that you guys first saw. You're in a large circular room. There's a entry desk there, and then the walls are lined with books. That again, there's like mold and fungus growing on them, and there's 3 stories. There's books kind of going up.
In this room, can I ritual cast detect magic?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, I guarantee you Lucy's got something she wants to do, so we'll start there.
Absolutely. I mean, step 1, like she'll probably just like eyes on the books, right? Like
Yeah.
walking around the perimeter, seeing if any titles are legible at this point still, or if anything in particular catches her eye.
There's a few, like you're noticing most of these books, like if you touch them, they're done. Like that's kind of the like they are held together with a hope and a prayer. But there's a few that as you walk by that are a little bit more interesting, or you know the covers look like they could be something that's relatively interesting to see. Go ahead and give me an investigation check. We'll see what you can what level of knowledge you kind of garner from it.
I just feel like Nyx just walked up to a bookcase, pulled out a book, and just crumbled and just went. Just walked away like,
Look this way, I wasn't
didn't do
here.
that, I didn't do that.
This is a 19 for investigation.
Okay, you're able to pick out a few of the books. So the way the entire library is kind of organized is your lower level is more fantasy or like less educational content. So this is where you'll find like some biographies. You'll find records of like kids books and stuff like that. The next story up is going to be focused more on like strictly academic content. This is stuff that is like, you know, you're looking at research papers, you're looking at maps and stuff like that. And then the next story up from that appears to be your kind of more general stuff. So you're looking at like military strategy, you're looking at like cartography, like that kind of stuff.
As everyone's kind of looking around, is there like a center to the chamber? Is there like a center of the library?
Yeah, so basically in the center of the library is the, like, there's a staircase that starts on the lower level, and it just basically like spirals around the interior to kind of each of the floors. And then there's the reception area, and then there's what, like, you can tell they used to be couches, but they have long since like kind of given way to time.
Mm-hmm. And the mushrooms, are they specifically on the books, or are they just kind of
A little bit of everywhere.
A little bit of everywhere. Okay. Then I will walk to the center in like the middle of, I'm assuming it's like a spiraling staircase because that was the motion you were making. I'll stand in the center of the spiraling staircase and I'll sit down. And I'll put my hands on the ground. And I'm going to cast Speak with Plants.
Okay.
And every last mushroom, which I guess is one giant mycelium within this library, has limited sentience and animation. And it has the ability to communicate with me and follow simple commands.
Okay.
I can question plants about the events in the spell's area within the past few days, gaining information about the creatures that have passed, weather, other circumstances, so on and so forth.
Okay.
And I'm going to commune with the mycelium.
Okay. Before we do that, Alice, you finished your ritual casting of detect magic. The room is very faintly magical. There's sections where you can see like there's like the remnants of magical artifacts that kind of like exist in the space. There's a broken suit of armor that used to be in some kind of case, and you can tell at one point it was some kind of like magical piece. But nothing in the room itself is inherently magical. There's like clinging bits of it to some of the lanterns you can see, so they're clearly not, they weren't fire lanterns, they were some kind of magical light that lit them. But the magic is like very much gone.
Okay. Is that just on the main floor? Or
just where you can kind of see around from where you're standing.
Yeah, so kind of like then like move up to like the second and third floor.
Yeah, it very much carries on like that as you kind of walk through. This wasn't a very arcane place. This was clearly just a general library.
Yeah.
Theodore, anything that you're doing while everyone else is?
I think he was moving around, seeing if anything caught his eye, anything that seemed to be misplaced, anything that looked like a weird entry point, like somebody's animal or critter came through, anything that just made him say, huh, that's interesting, or huh, that's concerning.
Nothing really jumps out at you. The space itself is very much like it feels abandoned in a very true sense of the word. As you kind of like walk through a little bit more and you get kind of acclimatized, you've been in places where like people have left quickly. You've been in places where people have left in a panic, and this seems to sit like somewhere between those two. It's really hard to tell what of the stuff that's been kind of cast aside was, you know, from a city falling out of the sky, and how much of it was just like people like dropping what they were holding. Like you can see there's like books on the ground. Like clearly somebody was like looking at a book in an aisle. Everything went down. They dropped what they were holding, and it just stayed there. Nobody really came back for this space. Whenever it was abandoned, it was like they left it for good. Which strikes you as odd. Even in your very long lifespan, abandoned places are only abandoned for so long. This gives you the distinct impression that once it was left, nobody came back.
I think he would try to see if there's anything akin to a body or a skeleton.
Give me perception.
Where's my perception? Where's my... Try that. What we get? Let me see. We got a 12.
There's nothing that looks like a body. Now, from the amount of fungus and mold and just yick that's in the space, there probably wouldn't be. Or at the very least, like, it would be very hard to tell that used to be a body, but nothing jumps out at you in the sense of being like, oh yes, that was a body. Lucy, jumping back to you. Yes, you, Pixie, like Lucy.
Yes.
Any books you want to try and pull out?
Is there anything that looks like I could potentially take it without it just disintegrating?
There's a few. You know you'll have to be careful.
I would like to very carefully try to gather some books.
What floor are you on? Fiction and children, academic, boring nonfiction.
General knowledge kind of stuff. Would history be
That'd
up
be
there as well?
probably more academic.
Okay. Academic then.
Okay.
Like, see what I can find.
Give me a dexterity check.
Oh no.
As you kind of go to grab a book, it just like sand through your fingers just disintegrates away.
And other than that 119, everything I've rolled is single digits.
You're welcome to keep trying.
Roll
Like there's
20, roll 20.
Yeah, right. Quantum dice. You're welcome to keep trying. Like there's a few. Or I can give you 20 and we can come back to you and we'll see what we'll kind of go about you trying to like very gently, carefully pulling something out. I don't know if that's still a thing in D&D 2024, but I can give you 20.
I definitely want to keep trying to see what I can get. So what works best for you to do this?
I mean, you can go for a random book, and we can go do another dexterity check, or we can say Lucy takes her time to very carefully extract a book that looks stable and reliable.
Does it look like everybody else is pretty settled into exploring the library right now?
Everyone's.
Well, no, not Nyx. Nyx is just standing there, just like. Nyx is secretly illiterate, so it's just like I got nothing to contribute here. I can read one
How
book.
do you manage to play two illiterate characters back to back?
Well, he's not completely illiterate. Like he can sign his name and everything, but he's not book smart. It's like he's trying. He has a book that he reads all the time, maybe called The Lost Isles for some reason. And he reads it all the time, but he's not the best at reading, so he's just like, anyone need help with anything? He's just like chilling there with like his like thing of whiskey, just like.
I think Theo would see
here
Nick just
until you
sitting
need it.
there and just look down and be like, Nick's my boy. Come help me find a body. I'm trying to see if there's some skeletons for us to get to know, get to understand, see what happened here.
Hey kids, want to see a dead body?
looks straight up at him and then looks straight back at the whiskey and then straight back at him and just goes, maybe I had too much.
Come, my boy. I need some help. Like, help this old man with his old eyes see some things. Come now.
What are you doing? Like, it just like looks at Lucy like, do you need help with anything? Don't leave me with him.
So yeah, while all this is going on, I would like to just take the time to very carefully extract something that looks important to me.
Yeah. Future me, you're talking to the fungus.
Yes. I'm talking
Um,
to the fungus.
okay. What did you ask them anything, or are you just looking to
Yeah.
like?
Like, hello.
Are they a fun guy?
Indeed.
I would assume.
I'm just gonna like kick you now.
All right, I understand. I completely understand.
We'll have much more room with Geek gone.
Control F4.
I know when I'm not wanted.
I'll ask the fungus. Oh, hi. Hello.
Hello.
Such a wonder. Has anyone been by recently? How long have you been uncovered? Do you know?
Not long.
How long? Are we the first to be here?
Yes, alone.
It's okay. I think my friend upstairs is trying to pull some of the books out of the shelves. I hope it doesn't disturb you too much.
Not enough.
Hmm. Could I ask for your help?
Maybe.
A lot of these books are really fragile, and it looks like you might have grown on a few. I was wondering if maybe you could really tense up your mycelium around the binding so that when I pull one out of the shelf, it doesn't fall apart. I can as per the spell description, the plants may be able to perform other tasks on your behalf at the DM's discretion. The spell doesn't enable plants to uproot themselves and move about, but they can freely move branches, tendrils, and stalks. If a plant creature is in the area, I can communicate with it. So if there's any mushroom creatures around,
Let's just hear some clicking. Time to go.
They will try to the best of their ability.
okay. I would like to find a book that is reasonably covered in enough fungus to constitute like its cohesion, but
Yeah.
not so covered that like it's not going to be useful.
Give me a dexterity check, because you're still gonna like
For sure.
they're still falling apart.
Absolutely, just straight dex.
Just straight dex.
11.
Okay, with the help of the mycelial, yeah, you're able to pull one. Heads or tails?
How about I just flip a coin that I have right here on hand?
Sure.
Oh, heads.
Heads. Okay. That is from the level you are on. You find a book of children's fairy tales.
Aw.
Everybody hydrate.
Ah!
Night moon.
Good night, Moon.
Night Moon.
I ain't got nothing.
Yeah, I'm out.
I have to go get water.
We'll take a short break here shortly. Before we do that, yeah, you now have a book of children's fairy tales from around the time.
Flipping through, is there any like I'm assuming since it's a children's book, there'd be like illustrations and such in it, yes? Is there anything that is striking me as like, oh, this is different about like the illustrations, about like the people depicted in the book?
Yes. It's incredibly racist. Elven lore. At this time, they were top of the pyramid, very much so, and their depictions of anyone not elvish in them are caricatures through and through. But it does kind of show. You can kind of get a rough idea of the hi James. You can get kind of a rough understanding of the like kind of way that they kind of viewed themselves. A lot of the stories are, I mean, to put it simply, it's an elven savior complex. A lot of that you can tell, like they're illustrated specifically where they're highlighted above. They're often lifting up the other races, or you know, just straight up they're the good guys. It's like the other thing too that is really, really distinct is the elves are drawn in vibrant colors. They're wearing gorgeous like yellows and reds and vibrant blues, and anyone else who's depicted is typically just wearing like very muted browns.
Gotcha. I believe that this cultural find might be useful for Lucy. Thank you, mushrooms.
You're welcome. Yes.
A weird curiosity. Could I find like an access roof, like get on top of the building?
Yeah, there's ladders that lead up out of the space.
Can I do that?
Yeah, for sure.
I like to imagine with all the gear that Theo bought, he got binoculars.
Yeah, some kind of, if not binoculars, a spyglass for sure.
Yeah, like Dragonborn eyes are weird, so I don't imagine them being like front. They're how would Dragonborn? Where's his character
Look
art?
at the
Hold up.
art. I think like Nyx would be just climbing up like right after you, just like, oh my god, stop moving. It's just like
they've just got really long stalks on them to meet your eyes, like they join really far forward.
I think he would just use a spyglass. He's gonna look out towards the city and try to see if there's anything that makes him say, "Ooh, what's that?"
Give me a straight D20. Not rolling for anything specific, just kind of we're gonna go for a luck roll. Okay. So kind of the immediate thing that catches your eye as you're looking around is there's actually like a school ground, like effectively right next to where you are. And then the way that like the light is coming into the kind of crater that's been created in this space, you notice just like how weirdly perfect the glass is. Like you expect this glass should be shattered. The city fell out of the sky and then was buried. And yet there's no real breaking of any of that. It all seems weirdly intact.
I think he'll hand the spyglass to Nyx if they're close by and tell him that like, look, check that out. That the city dropped, yet all this infrastructure doesn't seem to be destroyed, broken. It's interesting. Because I like to imagine, like, for Theo, he's been in desolated like places that have been run down, like, you know, places that have like seen time going by, buildings have crumbled, infrastructures have started toppling over, but this is like, to him, it's like near perfection. So it's like mind-boggling.
Can I roll an investigation, like look around, see if I can see anything?
Yeah.
Like with the spyglass. So just, you want like a regular 20 or do you want investigation?
Give me an investigation check.
Oh, damn it.
You're the one who asked.
I know, I should have said it. 19! Oh, that's actually very good.
Yeah. Are you looking for anything specific, or are you just kind of getting like a vibe check as well?
Look, I think I'm gonna go for a vibe check, mostly because like Nyx doesn't know anything about history for Elven culture or anything. So he's just looking around for a vibe check. See if he can find anything like what the hell happened.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, so as you look around the space, I'll give you kind of like a rough idea of kind of the way it is. So the very center of town is the largest tower. It is, you know, kind of constructed up, and then it actually has like 8 corridors that stretch out to the next closest tower, so that kind of forms like the administrative center of the entirety of the city. Again, to the original point that we gave to Theodore, it's all intact. Like,
Yeah.
you kind of would have expected these large. They're probably like 25 stories tall. You would have expected them to have suffered at some point. And they all feel very weirdly intact.
Could I do an Arcana check?
You definitely can.
Would
That's a 0 again. Oh, come on. 16?
Okay. The central tower is very, like, the way you look at it, it's like the entire space is clearly meant to do something magical. Yes, it's a towering structure. It's very clearly, but like the entire city is very perfectly, and as you look, is kind of almost like you could put a dome over top of it, and it wouldn't touch any of the sides.
I think Nyx would see that and just like hands the spyglass to Theo and just goes, I have a feeling that's the building we gotta go to.
Out of curiosity, because, you know, Theo's been around, he's done his adventuring thing. Would he theoretically been in cities that used to have something like in the center, like some form of crystal, some form of generator, something that basically said, this is the keystone of power here. If something happens to this, it's a wrap.
Old ruins of the Triso Empire cities would have something very similar to that. They wouldn't be active anymore, but like there would be remnants of like, this was an important structure and this crystal used to do something more than just kind of sit there.
Would he kind of get the feeling that that's what's going on here? Like something of high power, magical or scientific or something density. I'm so sorry. My door just randomly opened and I was like, whole situation.
Ghosts all over the place right now.
My brain literally said, anyways, that almost took me out. Anyways, but is there like a way for him to basically say like something is there that we need to go investigate? Like there is something that is probably magic. Would he like things like this? You would kind of feel like there would have been some form of magical essence that just doesn't go away, because something that powerful doesn't just in a day or two.
Yeah, it like you definitely know that like that central structure is incredibly important. It's a very important element. This is probably where, in a very literal sense, this is where the city was probably controlled from, because you from the top of that tower you can see everything.
I think he'll put down the eyeglass and, you know, collapse it in and say, let's go grab everyone else and go investigate that over there.
Jumping back to Lucy super quickly, you have managed to pull out, hold on, it is a star chart. So what the book you've pulled free is a star chart and a map of the stars. Most confusing is it is definitely not the night sky that you know.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of carefully flip through the pages a little bit and then decide that I need to find a way of either preserving this, or I need to go copy all of the pages really quickly or something, because I'm, really not sure that it's going to last very long. But I definitely want to get as much information from this as I can that I can continue looking into and studying.
Last but not least, Alice. Anything else while you're here?
Sorry, I had to go help my grandma with some broken glass.
All good.
Are we still in the library?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
we haven't moved. Nyx went onto the roof to look for shit. That's all you missed.
Okay.
Oh, and we found a racist child book.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I smoked
Okay.
some mushrooms.
and
Yeah.
you spoke. Okay, yeah, that's where I had left off. Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I was on the same page. I don't think so. Like, yeah, nothing from Alice. Like, she would probably take note of like more little like magical spots, but if there's nothing there, she would just make a mental note and make her way back down to the main floor.
Okay. Theo and Nyx have called you guys to. Are you guys heading down back into the library, and then you're gonna kind of like tell everyone down there? Was that kind of the plan?
Yeah, I think so.
I was calling them up there, but we can go back down.
Oh, I didn't know. I
Oh.
thought you were saying like we should get the others, and I was like, all right, just like going back down. Or we
Down or
probably
out?
should call them up. We should probably call them up so they can see the building. Yeah. All right.
Imagine Alice gets like halfway down and is like, oh, goes all the way back up.
Comedic timing of like, oh, I gotta go back up. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, mushrooms.
Goodbye. Bye.
We'll be around. Don't worry.
Kind of stuck here until we get the okay to get back home. Until we get the it's safe, you ain't going to die.
As you all gather on the top, kind of upstairs, before we do anything more, let's take a 5-minute break. Let's give a chance to stretch our legs,
yeah.
go to the bathroom. The Raiders, hello, welcome. We're Legends of Logomancy.
Hello.
We're a
Oh,
content
yeah,
collective. We stream Dungeons and Dragons
yeah.
and Pathfinder and a million other TTRPGs. But our Wednesday nights, which is the show you are here for tonight, is a long-form actual play taking place in our homebrewed world, and has the wonders of being in Dungeons and Dragons 2024.
Yay.
We're gonna take a quick break. We're
Yay.
gonna stretch our legs. We're gonna take an opportunity to refill all of our waters because even though Moon has gone to bed, I still suspect we will likely end up with some more hydrates by the time we're done. So stick around. We'll be right back.
To be honest, Ions is gonna go hard.
Ions is
They-
100%
they've
gonna
already-
hard.
They already planned it, and they sent me the concept art, and I'm like, fuck, that's gonna look good.
Welcome
yeah.
back, everyone.
Hello.
Wow.
For those of you who don't know, we're just talking about the Roll for Wishes campaign that we did that was super dope, and we raised a whole bunch of money to help sick kids in their worst times. And you can still technically donate to that campaign if you are so interested. It is still live and will be until January. So I think
that what happened there?
Yeah.
I actually don't remember the exact date it's supposed to close. But yeah, so if you're still interested in donating, they won't affect this game, but there will be a follow-up game to Isle of Lunder. So look out for that. I don't know when that's gonna be. It might be January at this point.
Which is fair. Because holidays.
Because holidays. You're all now standing on top of the roof of a building.
Woo.
We're
Theo,
Batmaning it.
take it away.
Okay, so we're on the roof looking at the big tall building.
Yeah.
And how far is the big tall building from us?
It's like not super like it's still like probably through the rubble a little bit of a walk, but not super far.
How, like, I know detect magic is only 30 feet, but because it's old ancient magic, would Alice feel any tinglings from it, or would she have to get closer?
Like, yeah, I would say like the building looks magical, and there's a few that are in there, mostly pinks, yellows, and a little bit of purple.
Interesting.
Everyone hydrate. Thank you, Roy, our destroyer.
Thank you. We love
it's
you.
Just like, oh, Moon's not here. Just gotta take care.
Yeah, even said that. I guess someone has to take
Yeah.
on Moon's job.
That's my
you.
friend Emily.
Thank you, Roar.
We love you.
Moon has gone to bed, so I guess.
Congratulations, you're the new moon.
Congratulations.
You've been promoted.
Welcome
We're all
aboard.
Moon now.
For all.
Yes. So you're standing on it, looking at it, and it's like you can't get like a very clear reading on it, but you can see kind of the swirl of magic on it.
Okay. I suggest we go to that building.
This is
Which
kind
is
of
point central
amazing.
power.
Like, I mean, this whole city, it's just here. And like,
Yes.
how does a city fall out of the sky and still look this good? I want to see every inch of it.
Lack
Magic
of
is-
magic, and then magic.
Magic
I
is
believe the saying would
odd.
be, they don't make them like they used to.
Boy, ain't that the truth.
Magic's such an odd thing. Like, I've been around, I've been around the block. I've been around the neighborhoods and the such and the things. And generally there's like a generator of some sort. And usually when that crashes down, everything else crashes around with it. But everything here is spotless. Now we can stay in the library. I quite frankly like the library. It's nice and cozy, but I kind of want to go over there. I want to see what that is.
Well, first we should set up camp before we start exploring some more, I think. And probably the library's safe structure. We know that. We know our way in and out of it to the tunnels to get out. I say we set up camp here and then go there to check it out.
Mushrooms haven't seen any movement in the last few days, so we should be safe to set up camp here.
You talk to the mushrooms?
Yes. They are quite nice.
Like
smart.
Nix is thinking of like a dad joke and it's just like, not gonna say that. Like it just like his mind just like,
Tell them next time you talk to the mushrooms, tell them that I say hi. Like, how you doing? Is there anything we could do for them?
Will do. Don't worry, we're already doing it.
How so?
One day, we will all be mushrooms. Or rather, They will.
It's like, I pulls out the canteen, just a thunk. Just, I'm gonna go make a camp. I don't need this conversation.
I think while everyone else is going down to make up camp, Theo's still going to kind of look around, like using the spyglass to see if there's anything he can point out in the neighborhood. Like just in the city in general.
Yeah.
Lucy's definitely going to be doing the same.
Yeah, it's nothing like there's nothing that jumps out at you. That you can like it's fairly city-ish. You've been through many, so you're kind of familiar with what the layout and structure and feel of this is supposed to be. Again, it's very sterile. Like for a place, it feels like nothing has really been able to touch this place in a very long time. The only thing that's really like of note is that again, from everything you've seen, like the interior of the library was very colorful and bright and well lit, lots of colors used, but the outsides of these buildings are just like plain, like the paint was just stripped away.
I think again that's like peculiar to Theo because there's usually something, but for it to be so sterile, it's like if Lucy's still there, I think he'll mention that too. Like this is off. Like it's almost like something's hiding, but I can't put my finger on it.
I mean, abandoned city sites are always pretty unnerving. It's really weird that there were tons of people there once upon a time, and then they're just all gone. But yeah, something does feel a little weird here. I would agree with that.
Like abandoned, yes, but there's usually like some form of something happened, something world breaking happened. You can see the stress, the breakdown of things, but this it's almost like people just vanished on the spot.
And like, I mean, the fact that nothing's broken after falling from the sky, it almost feels like, now that's probably silly, but it almost feels like they just kind of like opened up the earth and landed their city here and closed it again. That doesn't make sense though. Why would anybody do something like that?
Why of all times would it just reappear like that? It doesn't seem to make much sense. Maybe I'm just thinking too hard about this. Maybe I'm just thinking too hard about it.
Well, you never
I
know.
believe you are trying to find conclusions where there are none.
Yeah, I'm probably just thinking too hard. I'm just probably thinking way too hard about it.
Places like this are always a mystery, though. I mean, solving them is the best part of finding them.
Well, once we're done setting up camp, we can go to that tower. Maybe it'll give us more information. Maybe check out that school right there, see what's in there. Because the schools are like right with information.
I think it's a great plan.
The long awkward pause of everyone deciding who needs to talk.
Yeah, I'm just like, I think
I'm
Nyx is
like
just
I'm
like
looking up to the DM
making
like,
like a bedroll and everything, and it's just like, all right.
Best place to set up.
I would suggest refraining from using the term abandoned. Just because something is no longer inhabited by its original occupants does not mean that it is abandoned.
I
It's
said a
just
bedroll.
occupied by different.
I said a bedroll, not abandoned.
Other people have said abandoned.
Oh,
Please,
okay.
not everything's about you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wow, I do something nice. All right, I'm just going in the
I love you.
corner. Love you too. I guess Nyx would just set up if there was like a fireplace in the library because he needs to stay warm. So
Yeah. There's a couple spots that look like you could probably build a fire without damaging anything more.
All right, Nyx is just gonna set up space there.
Not that Nyx is currently damaged to anything, just that the space is generally damaged.
No, Nyx didn't pick up a book and it automatically disintegrated and be like, well, hope that wasn't important.
And setting fire inside of a building.
Are you sure you do not need any of my heat reservoir?
I appreciate it. I do. Don't think we should be snuggling up together right now. Last time you tried to do it, you almost burned me.
It's not my fault you aren't fire resistant.
You know what, Alice? You are correct.
Lucy kind of looks up at future me and is like, you know, you have a really good point there. I mean, it's another perspective kind of thing. The city was only abandoned by elves. I mean, them being gone seems to have let other life flourish here. There's no way that all of this fungus would have been able to grow in this library before, so I guess it just became somebody else's home.
It became different.
God damn it. It's the different line.
Saw that coming.
Like Nyx here's it was different. Nyx is just like, God damn it, no.
Whereas Lucy's hasn't heard this yet, so
No.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is. It's different. And yeah, it's only abandoned as far as the elves are concerned. There's still so much life here.
Correct.
Hey,
There is no end.
Sorry, go ahead.
There is no end or beginning. There is only ever constant middle.
Lucy looks kind of thoughtful about that for a minute and nods and says, well, I really appreciate that reminder. I guess it's easy for me to see these places where the civilization is gone and think that, you know, there's nothing left. But you're right, there are. There are living things here. Just thanks for mentioning it. It's a good thing to think about.
Many people believe that history is something that does not breathe, does not see, and does not listen. But it does.
You know, I really like your perspective. I hope we get to talk more about this kind of stuff.
We will. And as future me kind of walks away, I think something that would click for Lucy is that all the engravings on future me's body match all of the elven text that's here.
Oh, cool.
Just see Lucy just like start foaming.
It's just, it's the like, if anything, future me has looked alien everywhere else in the world, but standing amongst these ruins specifically, future me looks like she belongs.
Lucy's going to kind of tuck that away and think about it. Because that definitely makes her more curious.
Your camp established. Your space kind of secured and set up. I'm assuming you guys want to head for the central towers then.
Yeah.
Correct.
The main central tower is inaccessible at the moment. It's still partially buried in the rubble, so there's not a direct entrance. But there is one of the 8 towers that's around it that you're easily able to enter and step up through, which gives you an opportunity to kind of step into more of an administrative building. The space it kind of matches the exterior. Like, the space feels like it was never really meant to be as colorful and vibrant. Like, there's still signs of it. There's remnants of banners that hang, depicting the old elven kingdom that was well known to exist, or more accurately, the elven empire that had existed. And, you know, they hang, they're tattered, they're ruined. moths have gotten to them and stuff, but they still noticeable for what they are. The space itself is it is very much just a like. There's an entryway, there's a kind of a space, and then you can see there's a couple of offices around, and then there's a staircase that spirals up and up and up and up.
How far up is it?
By your best guess, somewhere between 15 and 18 stories.
Oof, that's a hell of a hike.
I believe we should begin then.
You know, there's something I have.
Everyone hydrate. Thank you, Vandervision.
I think
Where'd
I'll
my
look
water
at
go?
Lucy and say, you know, I can actually scale this pretty fast. If you would like to come with me, like it would be nice to have another pair of eyes with me. And then we can come back down and report to everyone what we found.
I mean, that sounds kind of great because, to be honest, elf-sized stairs are a bit of a problem for me. They're a lot harder to climb than I'm used to.
I think at that point, I should still have this ability. Yeah, because we long rested. I'm going to pop out my wings. And, you know, I can use them for 10 minutes. During that time, you have a fly speed equal to your
Walking
speed. Yeah. I think the walking speed is missing from the word walk is missing from my sheet. It's fine though. And I think he would grab hold of Lucy if she was fine with that.
Yeah.
And he would just look at everyone and be like, we'll be right back, and shoot right up.
It should be super easy too. Like, Lucy is not even 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
I guess Nyx is just like, oh, I'll take the stairs. Starts going up the stairs, like, oh no.
Thought we were staying here.
Might as well meet them halfway. We can probably look at other stuff from different floors while we make our way up there.
I will meet you up there. I will call my owl familiar back to me. I will wild shape into a spider, get on my owl familiar's head, and then fly up the center of the screen.
It's just like,
Alice is
We
like,
saw the 15, 30 stories and we said, yeah, nope, fly.
Alice still does not understand the appeal of flying.
Nyx is just like, I guess it's just you and me, Alice, and starts walking up
Slithering up the stairs.
Slithering up the stairs, just like, oh god.
You ain't got no legs, you sliver.
I slither.
Slither.
Slithery snake.
Slippery boy.
I'm a sneaky snake.
Yeah.
Low level 8 can't have a fly speed. Well, my familiar can, and I can be small.
As you guys kind of like shoot up the center, basically what you see is you kind of pass is there's clearly like offices and stuff. Like this building served some administrative purpose. And as you kind of like shoot up, you can see basically what it is each level kind of like levels off, and then there's a ring of offices around it, and then kind of is what passes as you go further.
Hello. Hello, Raiders.
Hello, Raiders.
The effects come through for me and just make me giggle every time. Hi, Raiders. We're Logomancy Media. We'll fill you in on the rest of that speech in a little bit here. Yeah, as you kind of like climb up towards the top, basically when you reach the top, the staircase levels out into kind of another foyer space. There looks to be effectively like the tunnel that leads over to the next building appears to be some kind of like desk that was meant to kind of control the flow into that central tower. From these towers specifically as you're towards the top. There's a couple of offices around that are very clearly important as you get through there. And then there's just like a light tunnel, and then you'd be in the main central administrative building.
Nyx is still getting up the stairs.
Nyx is like, I'm gonna slither.
No, Nyx is just like, Alice is probably talking to Nyx, and Nyx
Oh,
is
yeah.
just like, yep.
Yeah.
Just like Alice has no need to be like out of breath, but Nyx is just like, I am not meant for this. He's just like, 30 flights of stairs.
I imagine that future me is probably not that far behind us either.
No, probably not.
Sometimes if future
So-
me saw what you were doing, it was like, yes.
I also desire to elevate.
So office buildings and then corridor to like main central building,
Yeah.
essentially. I think as soon as future me got there, I will look at them both and say, well, we have a couple options. We can either wait for our more land-based friends to get here. We can explore these office spaces, or we can go into the main building. Question: how much stronger is that magical energy? 'Cause if my brain-
It's like noticeable here. Like this is not a lingering effect. This is active magic.
Does it feel stable?
Yes, TM.
Okay.
What?
Understood.
Nope. Nope.
It's not going to suddenly explode on us, but it feels fragile.
Yeah, like you wouldn't want to like try and use it for something necessary. Like you wouldn't want to try and force it to do something it's not supposed to. But like you definitely notice that there's like it's like whatever this is a stable piece.
So good thing Ion does not exist right now.
I would be touching
Incorrect.
all this stuff. Oh yeah, incorrect.
True.
But I think, yeah, he
Anyways.
would look at these two and say, we can go there, which I think we should. Like, I'm all for looking into office buildings because there might be some documents in there. Doesn't seem like there's been much disturbed in here, as weird and creepy as that is. Or we can go straight to the source.
I mean,
Everyone hydrate.
the source is tempting. I mean,
Thank you,
it's the
Peppa.
center of everything.
Part of our mission is to obtain and secure any magical artifacts that might be dangerous.
I mean, that could be a place they keep them.
I would argue that people who potentially mean harm or to gain influence from this ruin would go for a power source before clerical work.
I think that maybe, just to be on the safe side, we should stick to the offices until everybody's here. And then check out the big stuff together.
Sounds like
Never
a plan.
hurts to have more people to watch your back.
Yeah. I
This
could
is fair.
I could check out one office if you two want to check out another office.
That sounds doable. Lucy, I hope you are not arachnophobic.
No, don't worry about that. I've spent so much time in jungles and dustial temples. It's really hard for anything creepy crawly to bother me at this point.
Excellent. I am down here. Please watch your feet.
Okay.
And I'll go to probably like the office building that's like, if I'm imagining it correctly, corridor, left side, right side. I'm going to go to the one that's on the left.
Yeah, for sure. Walking in, it appears to be, I would call it an executive office. Large desk. The space is full of very, probably at one point ornate stuff, but most of it's just kind of whatever now. It like something you're like, that could have been a trophy at one point. It looks like it might have been made out of gold, but it got knocked over and it's kind of like smashed a little bit. That kind of stuff.
Is there any more like drawers or file cabinets, anything like that? Anything, I feel like he would also be looking for if there's anything that's been dropped, because he has this feeling that like people just kind of vanished, like out of thin air,
Yeah.
and stuff would have fell off of them. So looking for drawers, looking for any like bags, satchels, any cabinets, anything that makes him say, what's this?
No satchels or anything quite like that. Or like bags or stuff, but there are like the desk has drawers in it that are like partially a jar.
Yeah, he'll look in them.
Yeah, give me a real quick investigation check. See what you find. We're so close to 500 followers. I don't know where this Valley Girl voice came from.
I don't
my
either.
god.
Oh gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I ain't finding enough.
It's just different.
I ain't finding enough of them there. Don't even worry. Don't even worry. You can just skip me.
You're still able, like, there's documents and stuff. They're in rough shape, but they're not as rough as like the library. This space feels like it was spared from whatever kind of like massive humidity filled the library. But it's not like it's the way old paper is, where it still feels like if you're not careful, it's just gonna like rip apart in your hands.
I think he'll pull those out and like, gently pull those out, place it on the table. Can he read it, or is it all Elven?
It's all Elven.
Oh yeah, he can't. He's gonna leave it on the table. Just be like, we'll just keep that here and see if there's anything else of like anything of value, like architectural value.
Like, are you when you say value, I guess there's two kind of questions. Are you looking for something that you can like stuff in a bag and sell later on, or are you looking to like kind of get a feel for like the actual like construction of the room?
My brain says like something to stuff in the bag, but more so in the sense of something that we can take back with us that is like physical, not as broke, like, not as fragile.
Yeah. There's a couple of I don't want to call them statues, it's probably the wrong description. But they're like representations of stuff. So one of them is like the Elven Empire crest carved into stone. One of them is like just a sphere, realistically, is what you're looking at, but it's like a perfect sphere. Like touching it, you can feel like this is 100% like pure perfect stone. You don't immediately recognize what kind of stone it is. It's been polished, it's very clean, but you don't know what it is off the top of your head.
Oh, like even if he would sit down with it, it's one of those, you've never seen this in like a day in your life.
Yeah.
Does he get that feeling with most of the material that's in the room? Like the structure of it?
A lot of it's actually just like boring slate. Like a lot of what you're looking at. Now it's like, when I say boring slate, I mean the slate itself is unremarkable, but there's no seams. This room is one piece. In terms of like the way the walls are and everything. There's not like, when you put like stone together, you always have to put a little bit of mortar and to join. There's none of that. This is one solid piece of slate.
Definitely is going to be a little off-putted by it, and he's going to look back at that like perfect sphere. Is it something that he can pick up and move, or is it like?
Yeah, it's about the size of a tennis ball.
I think he'll pick it up and walk out with it. And like also picking up the papers, but a little bit more gently, and go off and find future me and Lucy. Yeah.
Assuming they took the opposite office to you, what they have found is a almost identical room. This one's furnished slightly differently. There's some chairs and couches that are in here. So like whatever this room was probably used more for like meetings per se than the one that Theo went into. But it's still very like there's like personal effects and stuff like that on shelves and stuff like that.
I grab one and I shoot Lucy with the equivalent of an ancient foam dart.
Done. You now have an ancient Nerf gun.
Nice.
It says NERP on the side of it.
Nerf gun.
Not Nerf gun.
It's Nerf or nothing, baby.
Nerf or nothing.
It's going in the inventory for later. Because I have yet to like find an office place where somebody, there's always one person who has a Nerf gun. It's just always one of those little shitty handheld ones.
I need to get one. I need to be that
It's a jolt.
person.
It's literally a jolt. It's called a jolt.
Yeah. Single dart,
Yep, it's a jolt.
easily concealed.
I just love Black was like, I got it. Don't worry. I know exactly what it is.
I went on a deep dive for Nerf guns back in 2020. Moving on though.
I think Nyx is still climbing those stairs.
You guys will be getting towards the top of them. Do you
But
stop
just
and look
like
at any of the floors, or are you just like on a mission?
You know what? I think Nyx would probably stop and look at the floors. Just be like, what's on this floor?
They're like generic offices. Like it's space for somebody, a bureaucrat, to sit at a desk and work. Is most of what you're seeing here. It's really hard to determine what the purpose of like this specific tower is, other than people worked here at some point.
Cool. I guess we're on a
Very
mission then.
genetic. Okay.
Unless Alice, do you want to look at any of these rooms?
Everyone hydrate again.
Oh my god,
Oh my god.
I am out. I am out.
I'm
Bro,
gonna pee so much.
destroyer.
That's why you ration your water.
I did. I've been drinking 3 cups of water today. Oh my god. Just in this stream alone, I'm gonna need to go to the washroom soon.
Clearing the system out at least.
Okay, so it's just like generic like office stuff.
Wait.
No, it wouldn't really interest Alice. So unless she felt something from her, I think tech magic is still up. I'm guessing most of it's coming from like the very top floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, she'd keep climbing, telling Nyx like random stories of her past along the way.
Yep. And Nyx would just be like, yeah, just like he's actually
wow.
retaining the information. Like he's not being an ass, but he's just like, yep, okay. But he is retaining this information. He knows. He cares about Alice. He's gonna make sure that he
Aw.
remembers. As he walks, as they walk up to the top floor, and he just like opens the door, and he's just like panting. It's just like the hat's falling slightly off, as he just like is like.
Like, and that is how Rosna tricked her brother to get to the top.
Cool story. He just like thunks down on the ground, just like funk, and he's just like.
Nyx hits the floor and then is hit in the back with another foam dart.
It's just like. It just
think-
takes a deep breath and just goes, "Future me."
Correct.
All right. Just a head
We were
down.
not playing Guess Who.
All right.
I think Theo would hand Lucy the sphere and the document saying, I can't seem to understand what these mean, and I think you would know more about this than me. Give me a moment. I need to help my friend out. As he goes up to Nyx and pretty much scoops him up and says, It's okay. I can carry you.
No.
Baby boy.
Like, this is worse. Let me go right now.
It's like when I
Okay.
pick
Swear to
Maisie
God.
up and she does the like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, to play
The
dead.
heaviest rage, all just like, nope.
Oh,
I
the
ain't
moment
doing this.
the moment he does that, he's just gonna drop him.
Alright, now I'll sleep here for a bit.
I believe in moments like these, organics like yourself need water. Here is my canteen.
Oh yeah, mine's only whiskey. Thank you.
See, this is why I said drinking is not always the best thing to do on the job. Now look at you. You're worn out. You're weary. You're tired.
I want 30
it's not
flights
a
of
good
steps.
look.
Nyx is
You
always like that.
flew. Oh, wow. As he takes the water, he says, "Thank you," and he sits up and he's just leaning on the wall. Did we learn anything?
Yes. We learned that it's nerp or nothing, baby.
What?
I'm
Phone-
not
phone
familiar
dart.
with these words.
And like right in the eyes, and he's just like, "Really?"
I have found ancient personal effects.
I found some documents
Those will
in
be
this.
confiscated soon if you don't knock it off.
I found these
Incorrect.
documents in this sphere, and he points to Lucy because he gave it to them because he's like, I don't know what to do with these.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely like to look over what I've got now.
Yeah. I want to say knowledge check, but I know that's not right.
History.
History.
Probably
Yeah,
history.
probably history.
History.
I'll assist with the history.
I've begun in my games just using history as also general knowledge
Yeah.
because I'm so used to playing Fantasy Craft now, which has a knowledge check.
Oh.
And then you can roll that if you might have knowledge in a specific area. So I miss that when I'm playing D&D.
I 3.5 still lives rent free in my brain, and I'm like, yeah, knowledge check.
So 17.
Blackwell, you doing
Blackwell,
okay
you
over
good?
there?
Oh,
No, you just muted yourself. We heard all of that. You are muted right now.
I know, because there was still stuff being knocked down and like, my bad.
Ghosts are being mean to you tonight. So the documents you notice are effectively a rota of like there was some kind of assigned tasking to this building specifically. It appears this specific tower dealt with people. So this was probably either employment or it was some form of like general management that goes in here, and this is an actual like rota of like this is what each department is supposed to be doing. They're fairly common. Like this is one of the things that the Elven Empire was known for is like meticulous documentation. So they were very careful about like this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing kind of thing, and
Excellent at medicine.
yeah. The sphere you recognize, they've appeared a few times. Most of them are ruined. So to find an intact one is like kind of surprising. They're not important. Like there's no like actual importance to them other than the fact that the people that typically had them were important. It seems to be some manner of like government official seal. That like, oh, you're important, you are given this, and the material they're made out of tends to represent class. There's a version of this that exists in modern Seru Shah culture. It has to do mostly with necklaces, so they'll wear necklaces of denoted importance.
I mean, I definitely want to tell, like, I want to be like, so, the sphere, I mean, I've never seen one in One Piece before. Usually you find like fragments of them and you can tell what they are, but this is the first full one I've seen, and it's perfect. I mean, this is a perfect sphere. It's amazing.
Well,
In my
if
hand
you-
is probably like in Lucy's hand is probably like relatively
Huge.
big. Like,
Well,
this is
if
so
you want to
cool.
hold on
These
to
were-
it,
These were given to like really important people. So you know, if you went into somebody's office and there was one of these sitting there, you're like, whoa, this person's done some important stuff and is probably someone who I really don't want to get on the wrong side of. I mean, it could be worth a lot.
Congratulations.
To a Sarah collector. I think it's worth taking with us.
I believe
Maybe.
so.
Sorry, go ahead.
Just agreeing.
we
However,
can take it to a museum.
holding that orb does make you a person of importance within the elven culture. Congratulations on becoming important.
Thanks, I'll take it. I think that you know, knowing what I know about the Elven Empire, they'd be really, really mad that a gnome was suddenly an important person in their culture, but that kind of makes it more fun, you know?
Cultures change.
Okay,
I
I
will.
can just hear Nick be like in the corner. They were racist.
I mean, yeah, basically that. I'm gonna pass it back to Theodore though, to kind of hold on to. And as I do, I'm gonna be like, and now a dragonborn is very important in the Elven Empire. So, man, They'd be so mad about all of this. It's kind of
Congratulations, Theodore, on becoming an important person within the elven community.
Oh, that's so nice. I mean, I'm important to many people around the world. I mean, I got a lot of people that find me very important. But you know, this is, and you know, he's giving like this inaugural speech right now.
like
You forgot
I'm
to
so
thank your
proud
mother
to
and the
accept
academy.
this. I love the acceptance speech vibes.
As he kind of puts the orbit away, and it's like, well then, there is something very funky in the center of this building. Now, I'm all fine with keep checking out these offices, but I kind of want to see what's down that hall.
I really do too.
Nix, can you keep up with us, or do you need to be carried?
It's just like, don't touch me.
I can drag you if you need.
Might prefer that. The next is like, no, I can walk. I'm fine. I just needed a breather. I went up 30 flights. Not all of us can fly.
But you don't have legs.
That is unfortunate.
How can you walk?
She's right. You kind of do sliver more than walk.
The figure of speech.
Ah,
I can move on my own. Does that help?
indeed.
All right.
You're learning now. More precise language with the little one.
No, I know her.
I am
To
not
be
little.
honest, it's kind of entertaining sometimes. It's very entertaining.
I'm assuming then across the
Yeah.
corridor you go. As you walk in, it's if you've been in any city with some form of downtown corridor connected by bridges, that's what you're effectively walking here. There's big glass, kind of rounded off so that the ground beneath you is flat, but they're perfectly smooth, round glass, kind of like lets you peer down into the city. And shows how high up you are. It's a slight incline to get up to where you are, and you find yourselves in a large central room. There's a couple more stairs, like it's just a single staircase that kind of like leads up to another space that you can see up there. This was clearly like, this was the last point you had before you got somewhere very important. And the space is laid out as such. Like there's desks before both of the stairs. There's stairs that go down probably to more buildings and similar such. And the space feels grand. Like even though there's clearly no need for them, there's central pillars that are there. They've got banners hanging on them. The entire space is kind of adorned and collected in a very beautiful presented way. This is one of those spaces that has maintained its colors. Again, a lot of those yellows and reds and blues are very vibrantly throughout here.
Random question.
Mm-hmm.
Is the reds here kind of similar to the writing of the red on Alice?
No, it'd be different.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
Just figure they're both kind of elven. Thought I'd ask.
This is a very like
My nose.
I don't want to say blood red. Like it's a very deep.
Okay, it's like a
So-
deep, like
yeah.
crimson.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any writings on the walls that I can see? that need
There's
translating?
there's documentation, like, so that basically there's it literally like staircase to command center effectively is what it says. So you know that like, hey, this is like that's where the city was run from, is what's there. And then there's like exit, but this is probably one of the spaces that's got the least amount of writing in it, because it's kind of implied that like, you know what's here. If you're allowed
Mhm.
here, you know what this is.
Yeah.
Does
We are close now.
what kind of is Alice able to feel what kind of like magic is here or nearby?
Yeah. So the magic that supports this is it's almost like a mix of everything. And it kind of pulls you in two directions. Think of like a magnet. You've got a north and a south. That is very much the feel you've got, except for in this case it's up and down. Whatever's beneath you is far more powerful than whatever's above you. But whatever is above you seems to be held in a important role just as much as whatever it is. Like, just even the sensation you can have. Like, there's a duality to the two pieces, and they're both necessary.
They're balanced.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Alice would definitely pass that on and say, I feel two things. One is slightly stronger than the other, but both important.
Correct.
You said there was more stairs.
Yeah,
heading up,
there's a
or-
small staircase that kind of heads upwards.
So do we
think-
go up or down?
I will absent-mindedly wander up those stairs.
I think Theo would look at Lucy and say, would you like to go up? Like, continue going up?
Lucy is just like wide-eyed and staring at everything. She's like, "This is so beautiful. I don't know how the colors stayed in here. Yeah, I can't wait to see what else there is."
All right, then. And I imagine the wings are still up, or has it been past 10 minutes?
Yeah, you'd still have those up.
Yep, we're going up there.
No! It's like, ah!
You can carry Nyx up the stairs. It's like they're not. It's not a lot of stairs. It's
Yeah.
a very short trip up.
Okay, I was like, come on!
No, it's not. It's not very far.
Nick's
As
gonna
you
get a level of exhaustion by the time he gets up this.
as you walk into the space, you're greeted with like cathedral style windows. They're these massive windows that like look out, and from here you are the tallest thing in the city. Like your floor is higher than the roof of the tall towers you just climbed to get here, and you get this beautiful view of the entire city around. You can almost see out of the depression that you're in the ground. And this space is clearly important. So when most people think of like a control room for a city today, they think of like the mayor's office, or they think of like council chambers. This is a control room. There are stations, there are spaces to work around. Like clearly all the magic was physically controlled from this space. There is a half set of stairs to a small platform with a set of chairs up there. That's where the council would have sat, that would have ruled over this specific city. And all of that alone, every piece of it is beautiful and manicured, but also a single piece and remarkably untouched. And that would be the coolest thing in this room. If it were not for the perfectly spherical, glowing purple rock hanging over top of you with 6 rings of like metal floating, just suspended above the space.
You think that might be what we're here for? Maybe it's just a...
I had a dream like this once.
As you stand in the room and the entirety of the space takes into you, the thing that most catches you off guard as you're taking in the sights is the outermost of those rings rotates 90 degrees. To find out what happens next, though, we'll wait for next week.
Wah.
Wait, were those the only, like, so the rings were there,
Yeah.
and then the 2 outermost rings are the
Just
only
the-
ones that just
Yeah,
suddenly...
the outermost ring literally just went whoop.
Like cameras be like, oh, there is intruder.
I don't like that. That don't feel comfy.
I think Nix is just like looking at it and go like, oh shit.
Like me as a player, my brain's just like, considering what happened in
Run!
the beginning,
Yeah, run!
Right?
and now this.
Does it have a
Hmm.
school of magic?
You
Or do I have to wait?
You have to wait and find out.
Next week.
Ah!
Everyone,
don't
thank
got
you so
to
much
mention door.
for tuning in. again, we are Logomancy Media. To all of the raiders who showed up, to all of our new viewers who are hanging out, thank you so much. We've loved having you guys here. It has been fantastic and lovely. We are hoping you'll be back next week. As a content collective, there's a whole bunch of really cool stuff that we do here on the channel. Like punch my water bottle over that I'm happy is empty because all of you have made me hydrate so much. But yeah, we do a whole bunch of stuff. There's some cool new content coming out for 2025 that we are in the middle of working on. There is going to be a return of my Stolen Concept show with a bit of a twist. Things are getting changed. We're going to do a game show that's going to make people... do some interesting things.
I'm 100% in.
And that will be and it will be standard YouTube format content, which will be recorded with audience participation on our Discord. So if you are interested in checking that out, I recommend our Discord. If you head on over, linky in the description, and all of that jazz. Come hang out with us. We would love for the opportunity to have you hang on our Discord. It's pretty active. There's a bunch of cool people there. We've a whole bunch of TTRPG nerds and amazing content creators and even more amazing artists that do some really cool stuff. So we would love for you to come hang out with us. We have a website, logomancy.ca, because we're a Canadian company. So of course we're going to use .ca, where you can get all kinds of cool merch. I'm not wearing any of it tonight. But there is some cool... Yeah!
Yeah.
Is that the yeah?
I might have ordered something special for myself via James. Help me order it, and I'm very excited.
Sweetest little camping mugs. I love them.
When we debated on them, I was like, they have to be enamel. Like I want them to be really cool enamel mugs.
I love them. I have one of the normal logo and then two of the pride.
We have shirts. We've got long sleeve shirts. We've got bunny hugs. That's a hoodie with just the pocket in the front of it because I'm from Saskatchewan and I made the merch, so I'm allowed to call it what I want.
It's true. We had a vote and we couldn't vote them out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and all kinds of cool stuff. There's notebooks. Eventually, the Kobold General notebook will get made where documentation is the cornerstone of good medicine, and all kinds of cool jokes. We have some character art. I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to see back on this view. There's character art of the creators of all of our characters, which means there will eventually be shirts with that on it. So if you have a favorite, and you should, you can pick one. Or if you don't have a favorite and you want to have all five, I mean, it's basically like Pokemon. You should collect them all. That'll be coming soon, which will be cool because it'll be our next actual proper series specific merch. Allison hosts a show called Roll for Beer with James.
Which is coming back. I'm so excited. I am reaching out to people now. We're going to have a bunch of new guests on there. People that are making board games right now to be produced, which is really cool. So you're going to see people talk about how the board games are being built and everything, as well as like how long it took them to play test and everything. And we even have somebody who just finished their Kickstarter and the board games are going out right now. So we're starting off with the people who are inventing the games right away. And then I'm hoping to find somebody who is like in the middle of it, and then we found somebody who's producing it now. So I'm very excited for that.
As I mentioned early on, we did basically the reason all of our shows were on hiatus is because for the last 2 months we did Roll for Wishes, which was a really cool charity for Make-A-Wish. Make-A-Wish is one of our largest partners, and we are officially a Make-A-Wish ambassador. So that is a cool new thing that we haven't had a chance to talk about yet. But if you are interested in doing stuff with Make-A-Wish, let us know. We would love to have that conversation. Or if you are able to support, the campaign is going until the middle-ish or possibly end of January. I will find out what the exact timeline is on that. We have a follow-up to the Isle of Linder campaign that we did. It's going to get fallen into that. And a couple other cool things going on. And then you can check us out on all kinds of social platforms. I know we've got Twitter on there, but we've also got Discord, we've got TikTok, we've got YouTube, and we are on Blue Sky. We're starting to use it very effectively. So you can come check us out there. I personally use Blue Sky a lot because I actually really enjoy the platform. It reminds me of the early days of Twitter. So by all means, come hang out with us. Come check any of us out. We're pretty easy to find. We're Logomancy Media everywhere the sun shines. And yes, that does mean that one place you're thinking of. I don't know what that is, but you can think about it.
We have
You
it
know.
everywhere. You know.
Everywhere.
We have
Um,
it everywhere just in case.
That one blue website. Just that one blue website.
You mean Blue Sky, right?
Threads. You know.
Threads,
You know
Blue
what?
Sky.
Who knows? We might be on
that
AO3.
drawer underneath your oven, we're in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I'm
junk drawer.
surprised that's actually what's under there. It's not all the like food you've dropped. It's us.
No, it,
Uh,
it's us.
We're chilling. We're
How do
having
you think
fun.
we survive week to week?
Yeah.
Drop us a grilled cheese every now and then.
Clean that drawer
Yeah.
out if
Yeah,
you
we're-
haven't.
yeah,
Clean
like-
that.
Like, come on, like that's for keeping your pans
Come on.
warm. Why are you keeping all of those dishes there? I'm so ashamed. No, but
I
Is
feel
it
called
empty?
out right away. 'Cause I have all my bakeware underneath there.
But other than that, we're gonna let ourselves go to bed now. We've had an amazing night. Welcome back to season 2, part 2, arc 2. I don't know what to call it. We'll call it arc
Well,
2
we
and
did-
go from there because we added back in Pixie, and so.
Lovely Pixie's
Yeah.
back.
Our whole cast is full,
Yay.
but we also have, if you want to appear for a couple episodes and come hang out with us, there's an opportunity for that always. I have a version of this that has 6 people. So, you let me know. If you want to join any of our Monday night games, which are a rotating series of TTRPGs, come check out the Discord. There's a form to fill out there. Other than that, I want to say we're going to raid out to somebody. Normally, I would have James do this, but he's on his way to PAX U, so I'm going to take care of it. I think Dice on Autism's actually in the middle of playing, so we're going to send some love over to them. They're a fantastic content creator that we've been very lucky to have worked with over time. So we're going to start that raid process, and while it counts down before I'm allowed to go, from the bottom of my heart and from all of my players I'm sure I speak for, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And if you love what we do, just let us know. That means the world to us. Until next Wednesday, I would love to say have a good night, have a good week, and we'll see you then.
See ya.
Hey, guys, see you